Hey, hello. Good morning, Vietnam. Oh, is it is it time to start wanting to sneeze? I haven't had that problem right up until the show's just about to start. There we go. So, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. And we've got a few guests sitting in the background, but we'll bring them up in a second. As usual, I normally say hello to all those who've been hanging around and waiting. And we've got 90 watching at the moment. So Lab72, Anthony Wilkinson, Darren McKinney, Melissa Jones, Paranormal, Mark Urbex, Barbara Henderson. Hang on, I'll take a breath, which involves beer. You see, I'm a liquid breather. So yeah, Mark Sarteur, Liam Kay, Anthony Sibley, Chris Sykes, Matt England, OMG Exploring, Stephen F. Rose, Vacant Haven, Mike Oxmulls, Paroxysm, who else? Andrew Clark, whoops, jumped, Brit Rail Tog, Ben Bear Williams, Exploring McKev, Kevin Rathbone, Brian Wiggins, Smoky Prey, A2021, was it IMIM995, Simon Broberg, Stephen Griffin, Stephen Abbott, Dinkum Aussie. Hello, Dinkum. Thank you very much for your donation as well. Legend. Yes, hopefully you enjoyed that little video I sent you. Lee Bridgewater, Matt Francis, T. Pilgrim Andy T. Pilgrim Bandits Charity. Bloody hell, there's a name. There's a mouthful. Haunted Coachman, they're coming in thick and fast now, look. Mimim Playo, Jamie L., Well Known Unknown, Exploring the Kingdom Dam, Flynn, Stephen Griffin, The British Army, Trish Atkins, Marcus Headtoft, Mighty One, and that's it. So that's all I've seen. Dr. Coleman 594 and Adam George, they got in there quickly. But what we'll do is we'll bring in the guests. And first, let's have a toss. Which one should we do first? Right. Oh, it turns out to be Vacant Haven. I randomly moved my mouse around and it ended up being Vacant Haven. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all good, mate. Yourself?
I'm not bad, thank you. Yeah.
All in chat?
Yeah, they're all in the chat. And we've also got, let's bring him on now, Exploring with Brady. Let's move it around like this.
Hello.
Hey. Hello, sir. Do you know what? I think you can you can move people around now. Look, I found out that StreamYard allows you to do this now. I can move people where I want them.
Oh, hello.
That's pretty mad, isn't it? So I'll put myself firmly at the bottom. There we are.
We're looking down on you.
Yes, you should. Hello. I have no real life to speak of. You should look down on me. Yeah. Disgraceful human affair. That's what I am. Yeah. So, what's been happening, guys? Anything? Who wants to tell us how good their lives are and how much more a valid human they are than me?
My life's average. Brady?
I can't wait to start my new job. So yeah, it's all good, man. Checking some places out this weekend, hopefully. So yeah, man, it's all good. Can't complain.
Yeah, you haven't started your new job yet.
No, week on Monday. So yeah,
right.
Canny wait.
I'm gonna have to come up there at some point because I like it when people cook for me because I will eat what they give me. So but then I thought he might put some special effort in, and sort of like you'd be like put little bits of flowery stuff on there or leaves or like sprinkle it with nice things, do like a really good job for me, and I will eat it. Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Brady, I had one of your cooking videos recommended to me. Sat and watched the whole thing. Stir fry.
Yeah. Christ, that's an old one. That's an old video, that.
I didn't know you had cooking videos. What's all this? Have you?
Yeah. He's only got one. But he only had one.
I've only got one. I think there might be another one there. I can put it back up. But yeah,
you should be, mate. It makes me want to cook. It's on YouTube.
There was a pork one as well, I think.
Yeah, you should put them
Yeah.
back up.
I'll
It'll
have
make
to
me
look
want
for
to come up and get fed quicker. I want to come up. I don't want to cook. I want to be cooked for.
I'll feed you, mate. Not a problem.
I'll just sit there like this.
Feed me.
Put it in. Put it in with a plastic spoon.
Actually,
Yeah, guys, the food before anyone says the food. Anyway.
Yeah. That's it. Plastic spoon and a bib. Yeah. In case I spill any or I'm sick. Yeah.
You're not. I know you're vegetarian, but you're not vegan, are you?
No. No.
That's all right.
God, imagine a life without
Just
cheese.
so I know.
Oh.
that's hell.
How could you not do that?
Yeah, like, I mean, eggs. I do buy. I've always bought free range eggs. I've never bought like battery hens, but I like sometimes when I can afford it, I buy organic free range eggs, which are
Nice.
strangely
Yeah, they are.
smaller. And you'd imagine that these healthy little hens that are out there sort of like would be producing whoppers because they're getting like fed properly and they're living a really good life. But for some strange reason, like, the free range ones, but not the organic free range ones, seem to be bigger. I don't know why that is.
Okay.
Maybe somebody can tell us the reason why. Maybe because they don't feed them much food because they're like, well, they're organic, so we don't want to make them fat, so we just give them less food. Maybe it's that.
There it is. Right.
Or maybe they're organic hens, which means that they're not feeding them very much, but they're a special type of hen that is just it's more organic than others. Like other hens are full of chemicals, and these are organic hens. So, yeah. Oh, guess what? At exactly the same time. So obviously they're colluding. We have Hidden History Ray and Exploring Within.
What's
So
up? Do we come on at the same time?
Oh, I can now
long
move
time
around.
no see,
I
gentlemen.
can move them around now like this, and I can say, "Well,
Oh.
who's more important? Who's more
Oh, that's the way
important?"
we really were.
No, I'm gonna split Ray up from split him up because obviously they colluded together to come on at exactly the same time, so they're
Stay.
colluding. So
Time
I
now,
split
time now, well,
split
didn't
him
we?
up. Yeah,
Let him up.
How's everyone doing then?
very good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
You've had a buzz,
Just put all my stuff on charge.
have you? Oh,
Yeah.
for tomorrow, yeah.
Free battery, drone batteries, yeah. Light.
If people get out to fly tomorrow, though, in the winds,
Well, I'll be right. Don't know about you.
I won't.
Good point,
I'm
actually.
really struggling today.
Did you?
Myself.
Where'd you fly?
Yeah. Over on sort of South Sea.
Oh yeah. Anything interesting or?
Yeah, I was doing the old Victorian batteries, but it
Yeah.
started drifting away from me. I
Oh
couldn't
shit.
control it.
Yeah,
Did you put it in
looks
sport mode?
Well, yeah, I had to, to get it back, but yeah,
A few extra horsepower in sport mode, don't you?
yeah, touch and
I'm
go.
just-
When
just
I
looking
when
out.
I flew out to the aircraft carrier, I no wind at all, and I was right out in the harbour.
It seemed to be the higher up I got, the stronger the
Mm.
wind was.
Yes, yeah, it will be.
Mm.
But not that you're going to go at incredible heights, but there is a principle. It's called the Bernoulli principle, I believe, and it means that the wind changes direction and it goes right with height. So if you remember right with height, if the wind is blowing that way, then at a certain set height, it depends on the height because it changes. But I mean, at a set height, it will turn 90 degrees to the right. And then if you go higher again, it'll turn another 90 degrees. So the wind going that way at height will be going that way. But it's more applicable to aircraft that fly higher. But
What's that called again?
I think it's called
bonobo.
the bonobo principle. Yeah, it means that any time you fly a drone, you must fly it up a fat bird's backside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll come out of her mouth and you'll be able to collect it. You just call her over.
Nice.
You go, all right, lovely. You fly it up her backside, then you bring her over, right, and then you just collect it out of the mouth. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, remember that. Remember that one. Right, where are you?
Oh look, we got Mr. Explorer McGav as well. I think.
All right, Gav.
Mr. Gav, how you doing, mate?
Let me see if I'm talking out my arse then. Bernoulli effect. No. Bernoulli is something going through. Hang on, Bernoulli. Hang on, let me just try it. Right with height. Is that? No, Bernoulli is the like what you have with a narrowing of a gap. I think that's what a Bernoulli is. Hang on.
What the fun of it?
Interesting.
So what's the right with height then? Who did that then? Right with height. Right with height. Aircraft. There's also no, it's not popping up. Somebody will tell us in the chat. Now Bernoulli is the effect going through a narrowing chamber that the pressure lowers on the other side, and then that's a Venturi effect. Yeah, Venturi. Maybe it is Bernoulli. I can't remember now. But anyway, it's as you go right, as you go higher, you know, the angle of the wind normally goes to the right. But it could be that that's in the northern hemisphere, because when you go on the equator, that won't probably work, and when you go in the southern equator, it'll probably be left with height, based on the fact that vortices, the way they work, when you go right, when you go high, it goes to the right.
Is that something to do with the spin of the Earth? What's the Coriolis effect? That's more weather, though, isn't it?
That's Coriolis, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, it's something that if you're flying along, because you're like jets, when they go in the jet stream, they want to get into the jet stream if the jet stream's going fast to America. But if you get into the jet stream and it's coming, like say we're going to America and we get into the jet stream and it's going to America, well, you're going to get there in record time, aren't you? Because the wind is going to be up your arse and the jet is going to blast you across. What you don't want to do is go into the jet stream. You don't want to lift up and get into the jet stream if it's coming the other way. So what you do is you'd stay below it. But this principle is, if the jet stream was coming like sideways slightly, changing your height would correct for that, so that you'd get the jet stream pointing in the correct direction. So yeah. Anyway,
nice. I do like the jet stream when I'm coming back from that direction. It does speed my journey up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You say this
I think
like you fly there every week.
I've done it a few times. I think my record speed was like 725 miles an hour at one point. That's the fastest I've been. That's insane.
Yeah,
that is make up an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's ground speed. But if you were flying at that speed in the air, you'd actually have broken the sound barrier. So you're going Mach 1.
Yeah. Wow. I think it's 768 miles an hour speed of sound.
Ah, right. There we are then. Anyway, sorry, I haven't said hello to Gav. Sorry. Hello, Gav.
Yeah, hello, Gav.
All right, Gav.
You got your mic working then?
No, we're getting to put my headphones on instead.
Okay, but what have you been up to then? Have you done anything exciting this week?
No, the weather is bad most of it.
Bard. You've been bardy.
Yeah,
bard, mate.
Bardy.
Bardy
is a Welshism for feeling ill, by the way, for anybody who doesn't understand. I
thought you said you got barred from Caerwent.
I know exactly what Gav is talking about because I come from Wales, but anybody who doesn't understand, bardy is not like what sheep do. Bard means you're bad. Yeah, it means you've been bad. Feeling ill. But there we are. Well, sorry you've been feeling ill. What? Can you talk, or is it too much like talking about diarrhea and exploding vomit or something? Yeah, it's like that, right? Okay, so we won't mention any of that then.
Fair enough, mate.
That would be terrible to talk about something like that on a live stream, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right. So, Mr. Ray, what have you been up to then?
Can't hear you, mate.
Oh.
Quiet, mate.
We need subtitles.
Hang on a second.
Put them in full screen.
Difficulties.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. There we are. Embarrass
We full screen.
mode. Embarrass him. Embarrass him. Embarrass him. Embarrass him.
Big, small.
He
big,
loves
small.
this. He loves this.
No, I don't. Get off.
I thought you were sat in the high chair, mate.
He feels
No,
more.
the chair's
behind you.
behind
He
me.
feels more confident when he's got his buddies around him, rather than being like full screen. Full screen.
We headed into Winchester last night after a tip about a large air raid shelter, which we couldn't find any entrances to because it's probably actually underneath the street. Obviously, the entrance is level with the street.
Found a few
we didn't-
telltale signs of where the entrance could have been.
And I sent you that map earlier, Matt. That's an old. That's had the key on it with what type of shelters are around.
Mm-hmm.
We did look for a few of those ones that from the map I sent, but there was no luck really on that. So apart from that, I've just moved house. So yeah, that was my regular
Backdrop
really.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we have a look at it? Should we have a look at his? Put him full screen.
What you should have done, Ray,
Let's have a look,
you
then.
should have taken a photo of your old backdrop and then stick on a green screen and then
Ooh, very nice, mate.
like your
What's the curtains, right?
I mean,
That you buy your fake curtains.
those ones.
Yeah.
The fake curtains, yeah.
nice spotlights, mate.
Yeah.
Be
One of
changing
them's
those
already
bulbs
gone.
every 5 minutes now. It'd be great.
You on the new
Is that one-
laptop?
Yeah, I'm on the new laptop as well. So that one's
I'm on
already
the old
gone
one.
within a week.
Yeah, yeah. Mind you can get LED
Well, the camera's a lot
replacements.
better on this.
Your camera is a lot better, yeah.
You can get LED replacements for those GU5 bloody fittings. Those halogen ones that get hot. They're crap.
I think those ones are. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what those ones are above me, but
That's probably one of the last. If they're all LEDs, then that might be one of the last old halogens. Just went when you arrived. So yeah, replaced with LED. I changed all mine in my kitchen because they just keep going all the time, don't they? It's just a money spinner.
yeah.
To get you to buy. I mean, whoever thought that was a good idea? Like bring out like old halogen lamps. Proper heated element, like proper hot, 12-volt jobbies. God. Terrible idea. There we are. So, did we ask you exploring? What have you done, Mr. Exploring Within? What have you been up to?
Not been up to anything this week. I was out last week, obviously, joined Alex's stream, but yeah, other than last night, just a quick recce in the winch. That's about it, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, and hobnobbing with Kaylee Colston Explores and Aish and Jenny V, but didn't even bother to tell any of us he was going on an explore, so we didn't get to go. So, yeah.
Have to make it up to you, Matt.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, hi.
Here's my number. Yeah. Yeah.
That's soon, mate.
I'll get the coffee in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll tell you what. Actually, I've got a tray of donuts I'm bringing tomorrow.
Oh right. So I could
for
just
morning snack.
I can have my way with those instead. You mean?
Yeah.
Got
They got rings in like that, so you can do what
That's
you
what I
want
thought
with
you meant. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Will they be fit for consumption afterwards? Though that's the thing.
Fit for purpose.
Dear.
Leave that to your imagination, guys.
Yeah, and I'm sure some people came on this Caerwent stream thinking that we were going to be all like serious talking about Caerwent, and we've got to flush these demons out of our system first, all the childish like puerile things before we get onto serious matters. Oh dear.
I like getting the anyway. I'll think it, don't say it.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if everybody who was like puerile on other people's streams, they got penalised on their streams as well, because the AI worked out who you were and it went, no, you were speaking badly on his stream, so I'm going to penalise you too. Yeah. But Anybody drinking tonight? I think I saw Gav was Galaroo. I'm on my usual Galaroo.
I had my Guinness earlier, just on the
Just
stuff now.
water, H2O. So
Yeah, we're always on this, Brady.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Cup of tea, though, mate.
Nice.
Tea or water, pretty much.
Yeah, what was there's a funny name you can like say to people that you're drinking water, and you don't say water, you say hydrosulfuric. You know, there's a long name you can say for H2O. It's like the long chemical name for so hydrogen with 2 oxygen, but it's like hydroxy something. What's the long
It's
name for
complicated.
water? I got to find it out now. So hang on, long chemical name for water is right.
So if you just joined
oh
us,
yeah,
it's
the
science lesson.
dihydrogen monoxide. Yeah, dihydrogen because it's got 2 hydrogen, monoxide, 1 oxygen. Dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah, someone's just put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they put it in the chat as well. As we've got some brain boxes in there, have they? All right. Oh yeah.
Anthony said it.
Yeah, Anthony Sibley. He said high hydrogen monoxide, but it's dihydrogen.
Yeah.
Maybe no, the H and the D are not close to each other on the keyboard, so we're not going to give you that one. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Nice try, but very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah.
Close but no cigar, my friend.
So, well, we all ended up at this place called Caerwent, which Gav has a great story about this, but I don't know. Are some of you exploring with him has got a limited time here because he's been a good boy, wants to go to sleep, but he always says that, and we all do, and he's probably going to stay here till 12 o'clock. So,
well, what I've done is I've deliberately not brought my laptop charger down, so I've literally got whatever power I've got in my laptop. So,
right,
when it dies,
which is not going to be long then. Oh my god! So, all right, we'll try and get you involved first then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite resource hungry, StreamYard.
I had this idea that those that wanted to talk about it, we'd talk in the first half with the people who came to the first visit, which would have been Mr. Ray, Mr. Steve, Mr. Brady, and Mr. Taffy, who can't be with us because he's on his own live stream. He's doing the unless he wants to pop up.
Conference men.
Yeah. Well, I did say if you get a bit bored and you want to come in the second half, coming in, but and then there's Gav who was there with Johnny, his mate, and we went on the second visit, so we're going to chat a little bit more with Gav later on. But he's got an interesting story because he's had not just the MOD police, but he's had the police round his house because they're putting his video out.
Jesus.
And you've not had anything?
Not yet. Unless...
Because yours...
unless they keep knocking my door, because I have the police come to my house a lot to do with all manner of shit, you know, and it's like... But they always say, like, oh, well, we can't get you. And it's like, it's weird, because the postman wakes me up, and the Amazon guy wakes me up, and the dog always barks, but these police keep on saying, like, you know, oh, we've been to your house, but you don't answer the door. And it's like... Well, if I'm in bed and I don't hear you, then yeah, that's why I don't answer the door. But, you know, I do like live. I'm in the upstairs bedroom at the other side of the house. But if they don't ring the bell, then I'm not going to hear them knocking on the door. And it does say on my door, it says, "Please ring the bell." And there's a reason for that. But if you're going to bang the door like police will, bang, 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 thinking I'm going to hear it, I am not going to hear that.
No.
So you know,
you're a very heavy sleeper, are you?
Well, it's just at the other end of the house, and I've usually got like the computers on and the fans going and music playing on my stereo and shit like that. So yeah, I don't hear nothing.
Oh, Ray's new laptop's gone.
Yeah. He will get. He is using his data from his phone, so I hope he hasn't.
Is that what he's doing?
Because he hasn't got broadband at his place yet. He's not fully set up. So that might be an issue. He may come back on, so maybe we'll never find out what he thought about the place. But
Sure, I'll be back.
he will be back. Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I'm lacking
See
some
where he
tissue
is.
paper. Give me a sec. I'm going to go and get some tissue paper because I'm doing snuff and it makes my nose run, and I don't want to run all over the keyboard. So hang on a sec. So talk
All right,
amongst
mate.
yourselves, sirs.
So I guess we better talk about Caerwent. Is that how you pronounce it?
Caerwent.
Yeah.
Caerwent.
Caerwent. There you
I
go.
had some somewhere.
There you go. Gav knows how to say it properly. I'm
Yeah, go on, Gav. How do you say it?
Plastic Welshman.
Do it with the accent.
Caerwent.
Caerwent.
Yeah.
Caerwent.
So interesting entry point to that then. So we climbed up an old disused railway line on the bridge, and they had the railway tracks were still there. And they had like a narrow gauge railway track in the middle, didn't they?
I thought it was narrow gauge as well. I thought it was narrow gauge, but I was told an interesting fact is it's not actually narrow gauge. It's a special safety track. Especially when they've got dangerous loads, such as explosives, if a train was to come to that bridge and derail, it could slide sideways and go over the bridge and then boom, yeah? So
that makes sense.
That's a safety track. And what happens if you derail, you hit the safety track and you don't keep sliding over. So it's a safety system.
Yeah, no, that makes because if you noticed it, the narrow gauge sort of disappeared when the bridge
went past
ended,
the bridge.
didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well spotted. Well spotted.
Yeah, I did that. So that comes together now. You saying that? Yeah.
I wondered why it ended at the end. I thought, well, surely the narrow gauge will carry on, because I was thinking, they can bring narrow gauge railway out to where the bridge is and beyond, perhaps, but it didn't. And I was thinking, well, why would they do that then? So no, the narrow gauge starts inside the base. Yeah, and only got removed. Apparently, their railway, whether it was narrow gauge or full, apparently got removed in 2005, 2006. So all those rails would have still been there, and possibly even railway equipment. You know.
Well, we thought we saw the yard, the old train yard in there. So yeah, we literally just walked along. We hopped the fence, walked along the railway line, or what was the railway line. All the ballast is still there. You can see a lot of the old signal or the points mechanisms I noticed along there, and I think I noticed sort of a water refilling station.
Oh,
it might have been for the railway.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't have had steam trains there, surely.
That's a good point, because I haven't had an answer to this one yet, or if they've answered, I haven't read it. But somebody said they had steam trains there, which they may well have done, because this was 1939 that base was created, and steam trains would have still been a thing.
Yeah.
But I said to them, what type of steam
Ray's
train?
backstage, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Ray's
thank
backstage.
you. There you go. Sorry, Ray.
Sorry about that. I'm tethering with my phone and it cut me off.
Yeah, I thought you might have been. They do that. They give you like a certain amount of time, and then they cut you, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, steam trains. For explosive places that deal with explosive gases, steam trains could well be safer to use than diesel trains and things of that nature, but not the types of steam trains that people are kind of used to. Because I said to the person, I said, right, steam trains, that's interesting. What type? Actual steam trains or stored steam trains? Because what you can have is you can have a safe area which produces the steam, charges it into certain steam vehicles, which then run on that steam and then have to get back and recharge. But the thing with steam is, if you're burning coal or burning stuff on a steam engine that's got explosives on the back, when you're not even supposed to be smoking a cigarette on the base, it's one of those, isn't it? Do you want a vehicle travelling through that somebody's throwing coal and having sparks coming out of the thing? Or what you do is you produce the steam carefully and safely, you pipe it into a machine which has a steam vessel, which can then store the steam, and then you run it on very safe steam. It's safer than petrol engines or diesel engines because there's no flame involved, and that vehicle can move around and all it's producing is steam. Yeah,
Yeah.
so quite a safe method to use. Now I wasn't sure what they were using, and I bet it was probably just coal.
Did you see the
danger.
siding though, where they would have refilled the train up or the engine up?
I'm not sure actually. Whereabouts was
It
it?
was
Deep into the base, or
no. So when we hopped the fence, we walked up the old railway line and we saw the crossing. Do you remember the crossing
Yeah.
where the rails were still in the tarmac? If you keep going a bit, you know that little bunker we thought we saw on the grass. We walked up to it. It was a big square mass. It was just up from there. There was like looked like a siding where the railway line was, and there was like a little brick kind of, I don't know, structure, wall, siding type platform, and there was like metal poles and stuff. So I thought that might have been where they filled the water tanks up and stuff. It's quite interesting.
just a note for anybody: if you want to ask questions, by the way, put them in capitals in the chat. Because it makes them stand out. If you're just chatting amongst each other, keep it in lowercase. That's fair enough. But if you put them in capitals, I know that it's something you definitely want to try and, put across to us and get an answer to if we know the answer. So, anyway, I'm just reading your messages. We'll carry on, but I'm reading down through them now. So, if there's anything I spot, we'll ask. But yeah, that's interesting then. I mean, there were a few buildings like that. There was obviously, when we came in, it became sidings, didn't it? That widened out.
Yeah.
All the rails are on. And then it went all the way up the left-hand side, right down the low end of the base, which came out to where they still got operations going on today. And they've got a lot of military vehicles parked there and a few buildings. And that's all down near the village of Caerwent, which is at the lowest point of the base. And then as you move further up the base and it gets higher and higher, the train tracks also went up higher and came to a number of places and what would you call them? Loading bays, like where you load stuff off the thing. Anybody got anything to say on railways? I think we got some railway enthusiasts in, actually. Were pointing some stuff out to me earlier on. In fact, I think it might be the guy who pointed it out to me earlier on might be in the chat. I've got a funny feeling I recognised the name. Yeah. Any of you into railway stuff, or?
I mean, I know a little bit, I guess, but not
much, to be honest, mate.
No.
Depends what really, but I guess I know bits here and there.
Yeah. I know that they filmed a few films there. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, what did
I
they
didn't.
film?
Yeah, Captain America, the first one. The first Avenger was filmed there.
Really?
I'm going to go back and watch it now.
They did a scrap heap challenge
I
there.
recognise that, yeah.
They did a scrap heap challenge there. There's Top Gear there as well, so there's a bit of yeah.
Torchwood.
I was reading up on it today. I was like, wow.
Which Top Gear did they do?
Oh,
Is it the one where they did the police cars?
I think it might have been that one, yeah.
That was, my moustache would like a word with you, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that episode.
That was the 80s or the 90s hot hatches, wasn't it?
And a film called The Big Nothing, is it? That was filmed there as well, with Simon Pegg. So, yeah, when I saw the Captain America, I was like, hang on, I recognise that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch that now because it's like Star Wars, if you know Greenham Common and the nuclear silos, which were for the cruise missiles. If you've ever been there, when you watch movies, I've seen several movies now, which from different angles and different places, I'm like, there it is, there it is, there it is, and it's like they've used it so many times. It's but it's in Star Wars as a rebel base, the newer Star Wars. They land there, but they've got it like green screen so that these bases, and the Millennium Falcon is in front, but they've got multiple moons in the sky, and it's all like,
Didn't they film one of the Star Wars at 40 power stations, Steve? In Southampton, wasn't it?
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Do you know that, Ray?
Yeah. Say that again. Sorry, I was just...
40 power station.
Yeah, 40 power station. They filmed
Yeah,
one of.
you remember that tour? That tour we went on, and we had to stop before we got to the gates of Fawley Refinery because they were filming Star Wars there.
What tour was that?
Steve can explain that one.
Tour?
Yeah, we went. We were on. I don't know what it was, what type of train it was, but we were heading into Fawley Refinery on the old railway, and they stopped us.
Oh, the old slam door train.
Oh, you could have got off and done a bit of Urbex.
That was all on this mate.
Yeah,
Most of it's
well,
been
it was only
down.
like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Jackie says I'm not allowed snuff. Okay, I'll go off camera to do it then. Oh,
Just say you're getting a beer. It's fine.
yeah, I'm just getting a beer.
Yeah,
many times.
They used to. Was it mostly ammunitions at this place? Pretty much. Yeah. Was it?
At one point, me and Matt found a whole bag full of ammo.
I did see. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it was on a chain, and I'm thinking. At the time Gav's video came out, mine wasn't out, and then they'd been. I'll let Gav tell the story, but they went to have a word with Gav. Naughty Gav, you naughty Gav. Yeah,
you naughty boy.
And then I thought, and now they probably watched the videos and they're going like, oh my god, what else is going to come out now? Oh my god. You know, because we were all over this base like a bloody rash, you know, and it's like seeing live ammo left around. I mean, it's a bit of a no-no. You know, it's not, you're not really meant to leave ammo behind. So,
what I was going to ask you, you know, those really empty shell buildings, like proper 50 feet ceilings, and there were cranes at the top. What do you reckon they were doing in there or storing in there?
Well, a lot of
what would be that high?
Well, in some places, and a lot of military bases that handle weapons, they seem to have these cranes that run the whole length of the building.
That's right,
and you can lift stuff. But then again, some of those buildings were so tall, you'd never stack munitions that high. I think it must have been for things like getting in equipment, like, you know, if a piece of equipment broke down, you know, you could just wheel the thing down, bring it down, pick up a huge motor and get it out of there and bring in a replacement in and drop it in, you know.
Yeah, proper high they were.
But they would have been, every building that was important would have probably been built with those in place, you know, before they even started working there, because it's a very old-fashioned thing to have that sort of stuff in the roofs of these military buildings. You see it a lot.
So did you have no trouble flying your drone? Sorry, Matt.
No.
I watched it earlier.
No, but that's going to be one of the things I'm going to mention if I get a knock on the door, is kind of like, I'm going to say to them, right, so if you're watching, Mr. Military, right, I'm going to say to them, well, actually, I would like to go and do some more of the buildings that there were a few more we missed, and I would like to finish them off. And if you're willing for me to go back and finish some of them off, I will put a big global warning on all of the videos to say, by the way, don't go there, folks, because they're going to get really pissed off quite soon that everyone's starting to go there, because they'll watch our videos and they'll probably get the idea it's a good idea to go there. I'm not going to advise you whether it's a good idea to go there or not, but I think if you can't hear guns firing and people shooting weapons, then
driving it,
yeah, and it's on a weekend. It's on a weekend. You'll probably be, okay, but don't take anything I say as, read, because I'm not telling you to go there. It is an active military base. But I could put a big kind of like warning message on it. If they let us finish off in there, maybe allow me to ride my electric bike round there. After all, they've allowed Top Gear in there, and Captain America, and Torchwood, and. So why not the Secret Vault, eh?
You've had a donation, Matt. Apparently.
Super chat.
Oh, yes, I'm just looking now. Yes, and I heard the noise, and I'm so much in my own little world when I'm talking that I didn't look over to see what it was. But yes, it's a super chat. Thank you. Exploring the Unknown. Thank you for your donation. Very kind. Said, tried via Streamlabs, but it's being a ... Sorry, bud. No, that's great. Thank you for trying. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah. By the way, if you want to donate, if you do it via the links that people have been probably putting on here, let me bring up my banners because I haven't put that up, have I? Here we are. There we are. Look, remember, use Streamlard. There we are to donate. There we are.
100%.
I get 100% of the money, whereas if you do it via YouTube, it's still thank you very much, but YouTube get 50%. So, yeah. Right. So yes, I would be quite happy to kind of like put a disclaimer, telling people don't go there. But at the moment, because I mean, realistically, it's a massive base, and
it's huge, isn't it?
a lot of the time, I mean, it's more than huge. I mean, it's what is it, 2.5 miles across by 1.5 miles high.
Well, when me and Taffy and that lot were waiting for you, I think you at one point were about 1.7 miles away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably about, and yeah, you weren't even on the edge at that point. So yeah, 2.5 miles at least, I reckon.
Yeah. And the reason it's so big, as a lot of these sites are, is because if they have an explosion, they want to keep that explosion away from everything else. So they don't get a chain reaction of explosion. So yeah, those places are massive. And I've been to one this week and I missed it. It's such a shame. There's a place called Puritan, and it's down by Bridgewater. And I was looking up, like, are there any other sites like Caerwent out there? And I found this Puritan. I was like, oh, wow. Looked at it, Google mapped it, and I'm like, it's been flattened. Shit. And if we'd been there a couple of years earlier, everything would have still been there, like at Caerwent, possibly with the pipes and stuff as well. So.
Jesus.
There's a lot of these places out there. I'm just starting to scratch now at where are they all? There's a place, one of the biggest ones is in Scotland called Bishopston, and that has been practically leveled. But you look at some of the photos people have taken of inside the buildings and all the equipment they had in there, and I mean it's very weird sci-fi looking insides these buildings. It is very otherworldly. It's a strange setup. But yeah, that place is being torn down and turned into houses, and Caerwent is slowly, piece by piece, being levelled. I think they have an arrangement because they're still using it for training. The army are using those buildings to bomb and run in and out of, and using some of the buildings to sort of cover themselves in the rain and do operations from. But there's a company on site which is an aggregate company, and you can see them in some of the photos. And what they got is all the rubble of the building, they got it in a big pile. So every time they take a building down, they put it in the pile, and then they sell that rubble. So basically that building, that base is going to be flattened eventually, turned back into grass, and then eventually it might, they get planning permission to put houses on it. So it's going to be one of those.
What about the one near Rendlesham? Do you reckon? What do you reckon the state of that is? Still active? Because that's cool to do.
Rendlesham, you mean the UFO base?
Central.
Yeah. Well, there's two bases. There's Woodbridge and Bentwaters, and Woodbridge is still in use, although the runway isn't used. It can be put back into action because it's one of the longest runways in Europe. I mean, along with Greenham Common, you can land a space shuttle at Woodbridge, and you can land a space shuttle at Greenham Common. Yeah. And at the secret one in Scotland, which is still active, although it's on care and maintenance basis. That one, there's a place in Scotland. What's it called now? Oh God, my brain drained. But anyway, they reckon that the Aurora aircraft might have flown in there. So that's a
okay.
Yeah.
That probably would have been used.
Macrahanish. Anybody telling us in the chat? They're probably saying it's Macrahanish. No, I'm ahead of them. Yes, Kevin Rathbone just said Macrahanish. Yeah, Macrahanish. Yeah, and it's down on a peninsula, and it's opposite the Isle of Skye, so it's right down. It takes you a hell of a lot of time to get up there because you've got to go all the way up into Scotland, and when you've gone up, then you have to come out onto an arm, this peninsula. You have to come all the way down, but you've got sea either side of you, and you've got to come right down. It's right at the bottom, and that is one of the biggest airfields still in the UK. But it's care and maintenance, but it's still kept. It's still kept.
Well, I've just
It's
been
not.
reading about Bentwaters, and it's closed, isn't it? Bentwater.
Bentwaters has been closed as an airbase, and the runway is definitely not being used. But every one of those buildings now is being used by industry. It's like
Industry and for filming television and film.
They're always car lots.
All right.
Yeah,
that's what they do. Sort of solar panels. I've been to Fairford. That's a pretty fair runway.
And Fairford is a long one as well. Yes, I think at a push, it's not quite long enough for the space shuttle, but they said at a push, they could put it in there.
My Osprey clip was filmed at Fairford, actually. If you've seen that one,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But yeah, I wonder if they must have had designated like emergency landing strips in the UK for the shuttle when it flew, because they have to map out places where they need to land in emergencies.
yeah. I think Bentwaters used to be possible, but of course, once it got shut down, then the runway was no longer available. So and wasn't upkept. But Woodbridge is kept on care and maintenance, the runway, but the base itself is still still there. In fact, I'd like to go up the control tower, because the control tower is still there, but the top of it, the top floor, is rotted. So you've got the radars and everything are there with no wood or windows, but just the radar control panel, radar things are there on the top of this building, which is interesting. So yeah.
There's a runway over I think it's near Ashford, Dover, or somewhere far up east, and it's really, really wide runway. It was designed for like 2 or 3 jets to take off side by side. I think it was a regional airport until maybe 5-10 years ago, and it closed. Someone might know in the chat, but yeah, if you look on Google, the runway is so wide.
Oh, he's saying only at Machrihanish it's to do with the latitude.
Emergency landing shuttles Fairford. Oh, okay. Yeah, Tinskill's saying Fairford for the shuttle.
Well, I think it was going to be Greenham Common, but then they switched it to Fairford. It might have been they've extended the runway at Fairford. Of course, there's no need for any of that crap now. But since the shuttle's been
well, the U2 still flies, so you never know.
Well, I don't think the U2 needs an incredibly long runway, because it's like a glider. It gets off quite quickly.
Yeah,
it's
just awkward to land, because they need the patrol cars behind, don't they, to guide them in.
Yeah, Fairford was the emergency landing site for the shuttle. Yeah, and Machrihanish. That's a pretty big place up there. So yeah, but there we go. So back to Caerwent then. So we've been. You won't be landing any aircraft at Caerwent. They wouldn't risk having a runway in somewhere like that. No.
Nearly 10,000 feet long, the Fairford runway. Just Googled it, so that's 2 miles nearly.
Yeah,
it's more than enough. Anyway,
Simon Broberg is saying Elvington has more than a 1 mile runway.
Yeah, Steve Wills is saying Boscombe Down has a really long runway too.
Boscombe Down is pretty long, but I don't think it's long on the scale of like Greenham Common if you compare them. Let's have a look then. Come on, right? We're all kind of chatting about it. So we say Boscombe.
I mean, Greenham Common's all very well, but it's grass.
Runway
length. 10,500 feet.
Boscombe
10,500 feet.
Yeah. 10,000 feet.
2 miles then.
Yeah, so that's Bentwaters. 8,900, so 9,000 feet. Woodbridge, which I think is bigger, but I could be wrong. Woodbridge, 9,000 feet, so slightly longer. Yeah. Machrihanish, I think, is going to be the biggest. Machrihanish airport runway length, 10,003 feet. Yeah. So is Fairford going to beat it then? Here we are. Fairford. 3,000 meters, which would be 3,050 meters, which would be 9,000.
It's 9,800 feet.
Yeah, there we are. So slightly smaller. So Fairford doesn't win it in length, but within that 9,000, 10,000, that's probably that's shuttle territory, isn't it? A space shuttle territory.
If you actually zoom in on the old shuttle landing strip at Cape Canaveral, I don't know if it's still there, but there is a shuttle parked off the runway on Google Maps. I don't know if it's it was there about 6 months ago when I looked.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite cool.
So Bristol, for example, has 6,500. Let's have a look at Heathrow. Let's have a look at see how big they are. Heathrow.
I think that's like 8,000 maybe.
Well, it's 3,600 meters. So again, that's pretty big because that's long. That's very long.
Yeah, I was just looking at Area 51, and their longest one is 3,600 meters.
So Heathrow's very long, so it's got more than it needs, but they would never attempt to land a shuttle there because of the amount of commercial traffic that was going in and out of Heathrow. The disruption would be just too much. But it's actually one of the longest is Heathrow. So there we are. Heathrow beats them all. I'm just wondering about Filton in the centre of Bristol, because, I mean, that's where Concorde came from. Oh, it's only 8,000 feet. There we are. Anyway, away from the nerdy facts. now we've decided which are the winners. Oh, what about?
Who's got the biggest one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, what about those? Oh, I got one more. What are those ones in East Anglia? Like those American air bases. What are they called now? East Anglia, the big one. Mildenhall.
I thought that's where Bentwater and that was.
No, Mildenhall is up the thing. 9,219. Whoa.
Nice.
So there we are. Yeah.
Church fence.
So I mean, let's have a look at longest runway in UK. Right. What's the longest runway in the UK? Campbelltown, which is Machrihanish, which is 3,049.
4,800 feet.
Yeah, is the longest in Europe.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. See, so it is Machrihanish, folks. Machrihanish.
Boom.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
should we crowbar our way back into Caerwent then?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not allowed to say words like crowbar, are we? Bloody.
Oh no.
Right. Sorry, Jackie. Must be done. So right, okay. So we all got into Caerwent then, and we walked up to these buildings, and some of them are quite big but empty, like literally gutted inside. You know, huge, like 9 stories high, but nothing inside them at all. You know, everything's been emptied, and the only thing that they've had in them in a long time is sheep. I think it's probably about them.
Yeah, pretty much. There's sheep everywhere.
Sheep shit everywhere, wasn't there?
yeah. We found some little bunkers, didn't we? Were quite interesting.
Yes.
Ray, do you remember that little wooden box we saw? It had like an 1800 stamp on it, from like 1820s or something like that. Do you remember?
Yeah, vaguely remember that.
See if I can find a photo of it while you're chatting. But they were. I wonder what those little bunkers were for, because they smelt quite asbestos-y, didn't they?
Oh yeah, the first one was because we all split off at this point, didn't we? So it was me, you, Matt, and then we split off.
Yeah, we split up, didn't we?
I wonder what asbestos actually smells like. You're not supposed to be able to smell it. Yeah, because if
I know
you
what it
smell
smells
you're
like.
in trouble.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Does it actually smell asbestos? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a comparison, Steve. What's it? Almondy or?
Almondy.
Thinking about your cherry bakewells, mate.
Yeah,
smells like rosemary, does it?
You pick any up for tomorrow, Alex?
Of course, mate. But
Smell like teen spirit.
they're never too far away, mate.
Hey, Alex has got himself a bloody gamer chair.
Show me photos from Caerwent.
Yeah. Streamer chair.
Ventilation keeps my neck cool.
See.
You need that when you're playing games, yeah. Get a bit of airflow. Back of the neck.
Hello, Mr. John Bangle.
John, how you doing, mate?
John.
Yeah, there was some really old school stuff that I've never seen at any other place, like those breaker boxes which had like little hoops, and you pull down. It's almost like a pull thing, and you pull down and it breaks. But Ray, you were quite fascinated. I've never seen anything like it before myself. But
Oh, hang on. I know what you're about to say. Hang on. Let me find it. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Telephone?
Yeah.
See,
yeah, okay.
I was gonna go
sakes,
time out. Yeah, because
Sorry.
for telephone. But yeah, the telephone.
Yeah, because you said it was anti-static, was it?
No, not anti-static, anti-spark. Because the way telephones used to work is it's a 60-volt line. Telephones that were on 60 volts, and the way they used to signal to the exchange what they wanted to, which circuit they wanted to be on, was they would tap. They would go tut 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 tut, and then it would move an arm which would go across all the lines. So you'd have like 10 lines, and it would go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it would move to a line. So the first number would move to one set, then the next would move to another set, and it would connect your lines. But every time it does that, by tapping the number out on a line, it's opening and closing a 60-volt line. And every time that line opens and closes, you get a little spark. And you cannot have sparks in explosive environments. So you're not allowed to smoke. You're not allowed to have cigarettes. If they catch you with matches in your pocket, you'll be sacked on the spot. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was. Let me bring it up full screen then.
That's the nuke button.
We can embarrass your iPhone look now. There we are.
We can see all your tabs on the computer. Right.
Oh,
I know.
Your cable's broken, mate. Oh, Jesus.
Bloody hell. Yeah. But that was a spark-proof phone. But not only the dial would make sparks when you dialed it would be in, but also the bell, because the bell would be banging between two pieces of metal, but in between it you'd have a leaf which would connect and disconnect to magnetize the arm to do the banging, and that little thing would be sparking. So of course a telephone in an explosive environment will be a very dangerous thing because it's continually sparking. So, but I'd never seen a spark-proof telephone before, so that was the first time I'd ever seen one of those. And Ray pointed it out, and I was amazed. There were a lot of things like that in there that were quite amazing. I've never seen before, because I've seen spark-proof stuff before, but never on the scale of this place.
Well, there was that one.
You have spark-proof lights as well, didn't you see?
Yeah, they have light. They had light bulbs. I think Gav, you pointed this out, didn't you? They had a light bulb within a light bulb, so it was like a glass, and then if you look inside it, there was another glass. So if one popped, it would pop into the outer glass, but it wouldn't expose that hot element, which would create a spark. Because when a heated element from a bulb is exposed to the air, it burns out. So they've got a vacuum inside bulbs, so there's no air, so that they don't burn out. Either that, or they have some sort of inert gas. But when you crack an element of a bulb open, it burns in the air because the enriched oxygen, it'll burn out. So obviously, being right above a vat of explosives, and you have a bulb pop, and then it's got the heated element that then goes and produces a little spark, and maybe a drop down of hot metal that just goes down into your vats of explosives, would not be good.
Jesus,
yeah. So they had these. Gav pointed it out, and he was quite right. But I would imagine that the glass on those bulbs wasn't just normal glass; it was thick glass. It was not going to pop. Double safety, like glass within glass. Two sets of glass. Yeah, modern
exploring within glass.
The modern equivalent would be they have.
I really want to know.
Strip lights, you know, and the strip lights are sealed within a compartment, and all the electronics are sealed, and everything is completely sealed, so water can't get in, but heat and sparks and vapors can't get in or out as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's obviously a safety point, obviously. Because Christ, if all that went up, you'd probably hear it and see it.
So that's. Did you see any? Did you actually see the army trucks driving around?
I didn't see them. I heard.
Yes,
them.
we did.
That's what we ran from. Because so I was with Taffy and Claire and I think Gav. I think Gav was with us.
Yeah.
Well, it was all of us apart from you two, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We had this truck screeching up the road, so we just pegged it.
What part's that in? Because I missed that bit. If you were stinging nettles.
Did you get that on camera?
I got the bit where we both ran, because it was like I was talking to you and you sort of went like, look, or something, and we both heard it, and you ran one way, I ran the other. We both ducked down, and then I'm pointing at where you are, so I've got the camera, and all we hear is this vehicle go chunk chunk and go away, like, you know, sort of like driving it quite hard, grunching the gears, you know, sort of like, but not necessarily looking for us, I thought, afterwards.
Because when we were heading back to the rest of it, we were just the open, so at any point they could just spot us.
Wasn't a lot of cover, really, was there?
I was saying Ray runs quickly, which means he can be spotted because your eye spots movement, and I said I move really slowly, so I cannot. I am invisible.
Doesn't help with the orange camo, though, Matt.
Yeah.
You should have just wore a high-vis vest, because that you're immune from prosecution and you're immune from having accidents as long as you wear one of those vests.
You're driving the outside lane at 50 miles an hour.
Safe.
Well, I'll just take an inflatable me with a high vis on, and if I get spotted, what I do is I just
one of them,
pull the inflator thing and inflate it, and then run into the bushes.
The Donald Trump one I did.
Yeah, when they come, they'll see the inflatable me, but they'll go, "Oh, it must be just a test dummy or something," and then they'll go, "Ha ha ha ha! Isn't that funny?" And then they won't realise the real me is naked in the bushes over there, like, you know. But, yeah. The inflatable me is there, like, lying on the road. Well, yeah, I have to put my clothes on it. You see, when I inflate it, I have to quickly get my clothes on it and throw it in the road. Although I could have clothes for it, couldn't I? Really, I could have a second set of clothes for it. Yeah. That'd be an idea, wouldn't it?
A bit more practical,
Save time as well, like me having to get undressed and dress a doll and then chuck it in the road. Yeah. Yeah. But it's something to be worked on. I think it's definitely an idea, something we need to work on. We need.
Well, we were meant to work on sort of second outfits as well.
Yeah, we need escape dolls for, like, you know, fast escape maneuvers. Escape dolls.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to get the drawing board.
So yeah, second outfits, especially when we were in Bracknell that time, kind of come in handy having a smart shirt underneath. I just took my jacket off and just walked looking like a bloody hiker.
You did. You came out dressed like you were going to a party, Ray.
That's what I said to him. I said, because the police drove past us and saw he was dressed smart with a checked shirt, they just thought, oh, he's not going to be dressed for mischief, is he?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helped us.
Yeah, you fooled them, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought you said hold them.
Well, yeah, you probably will, you know.
I like your
I think she was alright, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Is that your crunching in your pocket? Are you pleased to see me?
Yeah.
That's you were going for the Bible copper, right?
Right, whilst they're having so much fun, then I'm gonna go and get some more beers, because obviously I have to keep myself awake for the rest of this. So I'll leave them, and I'll see you in a sec, guys. So I'll be back.
Don't worry too much. You got an early start in the morning.
How about you? Alcohol makes me tired.
Alcohol makes me tired
me
as well,
awake.
but mostly after the stream, so I get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
We'll be meeting about 10 o'clock tomorrow then.
still ain't got very fine, lads.
I reckon that was just a warning.
Scare tactic.
Still haven't had
It
it
was
now.
what?
Scare tactic.
It was
Oh,
3
chat.
days before it was over, though, wasn't it? So
When did we do it? Was it like
fuck
it was over a month ago?
Yeah, it was just before was it the 12th of April when it all opened up? Or was it the
Yeah, it was just before.
stage 1?
Yeah, maybe the week before.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
It
then,
was the weekend before.
yeah. We did
Maybe
the
they couldn't
Saturday.
afford the postage
Paper.
fee to.
They thought,
post the
fucking
fines.
hell, we'll just have to fill out the paperwork if we do this.
Oh,
They're
so they
bloody-
don't actually find you on the spot. They just obviously
They
send
write
you
it all out for you on the spot, but
Yeah.
then they've got to obviously go back to the station, write out their little report and send it to you officially.
They probably
Yeah.
just chuck it in the trash when they get back to the station, don't they? They
He's,
just-
he's
CBA.
obviously thought, I can't be bothered with this. So let you off.
Yeah.
When you say that, and tomorrow morning you get a letter through the post.
Don't say that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do deliver Saturdays.
I've kept the money by just in case, you know. I've sort of started spending it in my head
It's
already.
better to, yeah.
Or 2 more batteries.
I've already got one. Got 3 now.
You got 3.
Yeah, 3 drone batteries. So I can get an hour and a half's worth
So
flight.
you're level pegging with me now, mate.
You got 3, have you?
Well, yeah, it came as part of the combo, yeah.
Yeah. The only annoying thing, I haven't got the hub, so I still have to charge them individually.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. it's
Well,
annoying.
you see my photo of my all 3 charging very nicely next to each other.
Jealous, mate.
Don't want to get lonely.
I don't want them getting lonely. They all have to stay
Charge them
together.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep each other warm.
Do you know what I've found is because I've bought all these like Fly More packages from DJI in the past, you're better off buying ones aftermarket because they charged faster. And you know well, I don't know. Tell me if this is true because it always used to be the case with if you buy a DJI multi-charger, it would charge each battery one at a time. It would finish one.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Now that's
right.
yeah. So it don't
There's
charge
no
them all at once. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no difference to me just plugging them in my drone and charging it separately.
Of course, I didn't want you to know that.
Ah.
But yeah, it does do that.
So you can vacant. You can make him gutted now by buying an aftermarket one that costs 20 quid, right? And actually charges them all at once. Oh, lush.
Oh, yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your PP is this big now.
Yeah.
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 Started
As
you inches to
PewDiePie
it.
puts it. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the head on that.
Oh god. Proper.
That's a big head, that.
It's a good couple of inches, mate.
I'm gonna put
Hey,
put
he's
flake
got a
on
mustache as well.
Proper. So right, so I mean overall then you know what were your sort of thoughts because we were over the sort of like area where I was going to go to Gav and I don't know if Gav's spoken to Johnny and whether Johnny's going to come on as well, by the way, but
No, John ain't gonna come on, mate.
oh
Yeah, Matt, you need me to drop out at any time because
no,
I didn't go to thingy majiggy. I was going to go with you.
I was going to say you didn't actually come, but we still have you on.
Do it really.
Mm.
It was
You
just
hardly saw much of it though. That's the thing.
Well, no, that's the thing. But even the little bit I saw was huge. You know, there's
you
not
very
a lot of cover to hide. There's so many sort of random derelict buildings with massive 50-foot ceilings. There's bunkers. It's a bit of everything there. It's really cool. A lot of old relics that we saw. You saw the phone, didn't you? We saw that old sort of wooden box in the bunker with a 1800 timestamp on. That's cool. The asbestos bit, not so cool. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Something different.
Yeah, it was. The trip up there as well. It wasn't too far to really go.
It's nice to see the railway bit as well.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
I mean, bear in mind that there's probably some secrets of that base that haven't yet been released. I would imagine there's more to that base than meets the eye because it was so big. Plus, it had a few lives, that base. It started off as a chemical propellant factory, which
Cordite again.
Cordite. Yeah, cordite, and that was used for shells, but they probably produced high explosives there as well. There was other stuff produced there. In the 60s, it went on to produce the Sea Slug missile. So it was, I think it was, what do they call it? Like, it's chemical propellant, but what do they call it? I think they have like a hard propellant. So it's not something that's liquid. They use it in like a hard, and it burns at a set rate. I mean, you can't control the rate like you do with like rocket ships and things like that.
Thermite, I don't know.
Yeah, once you set it going, it's full power all the way till dead, And the Sea Slug missile was produced there. I think then the Americans took over because in 1960 something or 1970s, the Americans were expelled from France, which I'm still looking for videos. I'm going to have a look on YouTube to have a look for videos of this because this is a little known story because the Americans don't want this story remembered in history. They want this to be forgotten as a forgotten part of history. But the Americans were kicked out of France by Charles de Gaulle. He just said, no, we don't want America and your weapons and all your stuff there. And it was something to do with they wanted to have their own nuclear arms race, and America was going, you can't have that. So Charles de Gaulle kicked him out of France, and he said, we are having our own nukes. We're having our own nukes. Sorry. And America doesn't like to talk about it now. But the hurt from that event still goes on to this day because remember a few years ago, one of the presidents was saying we're going to ban French fries. We're going to call them freedom fries. Do you remember that?
Freedom fries.
Freedom fries. Yeah, we're not going to call them French fries anymore. We're going to call them freedom fries. Yeah. Because it was a snub, at France because America is still not forgotten and not forgiven being kicked out of France after helping them in the war and whatnot. But France was kind of like, nah, war's over now. We need to think for ourselves. And America was like, no, you owe us, so we need to keep our weapons in your country. And France was like, nah, that's a long time ago now. So they got kicked out of France. And then, because of that, they moved all their armaments to the United Kingdom. And guess where they went? Caerwent.
Yeah.
So all the masses of armaments that were in France for America and a lot of other bits and pieces around there as well, it all came to Caerwent. So America was using Caerwent as the biggest ammunitions depot in Europe. And it shows because it's a massive...
high buildings.
Something like that I read. Was it 80,000 tons? And they supplied Desert Storm with that, apparently. One of the...
That's right. Kevin Rathbone makes a very good point. The US gold accounts were called in the 70s. That's right, because this, like tit for tat with America, with France, went on and it developed further where Charles de Gaulle or whoever it was just said, well, hey, you Americans with all your big swaggery, threats and all that. Well, where's all the money to back up the gold then? Yeah? Let's see the gold. So they called in their money and they cashed in their money and said, let's see the gold then. Send us the gold. And America went into a panic spiral because did they have all the gold to actually back the money, And France called their hand and said, show us the money. Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't remember this, but people who are clued up on history remember this. But the whole thing about fiat currency and fake currency that isn't backed by gold, it's just paper money. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. France called America out. They went, hey, let's see some gold then. And they cashed in all their money and said, let's have the gold, please. And America had a bit of a shit fit over that. Yeah.
Oh. Matt, have you seen Matthew Bellamy's comment about?
I'll put it in the private chat if it helps. Okay.
Is it in capitals?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure it was, wasn't it? There's about 28. Apparently, there's a section on 28 days later all about you and some allegations.
Oh, really? There's a topic about me on 28. It's highly libelous and has some quite extreme allegations. Okay, well, send me the link. I'll have a look. I always like a bit of a laugh. Yeah.
It's the same words, tour bus, goon, you know, what they always say.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
No.
I'm not worried
Don't
about
bother
that.
with that site. Don't even go on it. So.
Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, we all know what they're about because that's why a lot of people don't stay on there. So, yeah. But anyway, coming back to, right, so we've done it had these different lives. So it went from being chemical propellants, it was Navy originally, then it went to being RAF, then it went to being American, so it had all this stuff, and then I think it shut down in about 93. There was somebody who said that their grandfather, who worked there, was there for 28 years, so he would have seen all the different periods from being RAF to being USAF, and he was one of the guys who apparently like closed it down when it was like being closed down. He was one of the guys that sort of like shut it down, and I did say it would be really good, so I'm hoping that they might want to kind of like chat to us, because it would be great to show them the video and say, so what would that do? What did that do? Tell us about it, you know, and just give us a walkthrough, because I think that would be a nice video, you know, a bit like the Cordite factory video.
I'm going to get cut off any minute, by the way. Battery's on 6%. So if I dash, that's why. So
okay,
all right, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if my connection goes again, like it keeps doing, I might have to just give up in a minute.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'll probably just dash now because it's just going to go. Literally.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah, good to see you all, guys.
Nice to see you.
See you tomorrow, mate.
See you in the morning.
Cheers all in the chat as well.
Have a good weekend, mate.
Good to his word.
Cheers, guys.
He did about an hour.
Catch you later.
Now, like he did at Caerwent, he's going to disappear. Yeah, there he's gone. On that note, yeah. Well, this is the things here. I mean, maybe we can chat about this now because he's still there. I'll boot him because he's obviously gone. So hang on, kick him. Oh, kick guest. Yeah, there we are. There was a point where myself and Ray had kind of gone, and we lost sight of everybody else. And we had said the best way to do this base, because it's so massive, is we'll split off into separate groups and we'll all do separate areas. But it ended up seemingly like it was just me and Ray, and then everyone else was together in another group. And we lost sight of them. And then next thing you know, there was some army vehicle came through there and everyone got a bit spooked by it. So I think better part of Valor, nobody wanted to get arrested that day. They all went back to the fence line and gave us a nice phone call and said, we'll wait for you. And then me and Ray, like the crazy alien troopers we are, went off and did the rest of the base. But it's all right because Taffy's relieved from, you know, we won't, Taffy is a hardcore because he came on the next visit and we did like 5 hours of explore there. It was crazy, wasn't it? But
do you mean Gav, not Taffy?
Oh, Gav. Sorry, did I say Taffy when I pointed at Gav?
Yeah.
You did. You said Taffy. Yeah. You went.
It's funny when you're doing live stuff. I've done this when I'm out exploring as well. I've said, when I was in with Gav in the room, I said, can you imagine all the concrete, all the highly dangerous concrete they stored in this room? And I went, I meant to say explosives. so yeah. If you watch, yeah. But anyway, yeah, we got split up. And so some of the guys, fair enough, I mean, they had been there for 2 hours. And I had told them, I said, you are not going to believe how big this place is. I know you think you know how big. It's bigger than you think. And you are going to only be able to do a small part of this. So it ended up that after 2 hours of a lot of walking, some of them were probably pissed off, and I can understand that because it's about the limit of a lot of people. It's like 2 hour explore, bloody hell, you know. It's like, I mean, when I was there with Johnny and Gav, I said it ain't going to be 2 hours today, it's going to be longer than that, and we're going to have to hardcore it, and we did, because it was like 5 hours of quite big explore. But we were determined to sort of complete it, you know. And there's just a tiny little bit on the west side of the base we didn't do. But to be honest, I flew around it with a drone well enough that you see what we missed. It's just this like square section where these buildings, it's I know what would be in those buildings. It's just going to be little rooms, nothing special. You can see what it is. So it's like, yeah. I mean, there came a point where we said, "Wow, we've done 5 hours. I'm in pain. I think we've done it now." And we just went, right, okay, we could go over there and do another 30 minutes, but let's go. But we basically did it all. So yeah, we went on our way. But in the period when I was with Ray on the first event, like we did as much as we could. So any points on that part before I bring in Mr. Gav, because he's been very patient. And Mr. Brady, rack your brain. Anything you want to say about the events of the day and how good it was, or
there was the weird structures we found, because you were saying in the video Ian, what's that? Because of IKS, if he knew what it was. Have you actually found out what those buildings were used for? Because I haven't been able to find anything.
Which ones were they now? Yeah, can you describe it?
We went through all those bushes, and then suddenly we came up onto this structure.
Back in a second.
Where you knelt down and looked through. Into. Yeah.
Yes, that's
right.
Like
archway. You went.
Archway, and then we went into this little under thing which went underneath. And it looked like it had been set on fire for some reason, which was weird.
The best way I could describe it is, Alex, one of your videos, which was one of your first, I think, you did something similar to it in Portsmouth.
The artillery.
That was it, yeah. It looks similar to that, because obviously me and Steve went there not long after you went, but
yeah,
that's why I could describe it.
Which I thought was a water treatment place, but turns out it wasn't.
But because there must have been more of that around. Obviously, did you see any more of those when you went the second time or not? Or was it just that one?
No, I didn't see nothing like that, right? When we went back secondly.
I'm just looking at this. Shouldn't egg on the trolls really, but there's a guy called the Urbex Dogger. And his messages have all been deleted for some reason. I don't know why, but
he said hello to me.
Yeah, he said hello. Yeah, I don't know. He's been ostracised now.
I missed that.
It's probably because of the name Dogger, the Urbex Dogger.
Great name.
Drawing holes.
Yeah, it brings some sort of like it brings dark arts, penile normal. Yeah. So anyway, so you were saying about that building. I have no idea what it did. I was wondering whether or not it was like a junction point where things come in and they're covered over. The pipes are covered over and the valves are covered over. But it's where things join. And they just had a little building which was put there for a reason, to kind of like direct fluid from this pipe to this pipe, or mix them two together and shunt them down in a direction. I did read that some of these weapons places, because the mixing of the substances are so volatile, what they would do is they would have like vats of these things uphill, and what they would do then is they would pipe them down very slowly through pipes, and they would pipe them downhill, and they would use gravity to take them down rather than pumps, because if you imagine a pump is obviously churning or push pressure pumps, and you don't want that on explosive materials like push pull, or churn, because it's too much violent stimulation of the material. So what they would do is they would mix these fluids by actually bringing them downhill, and having two pipes would meet with a certain ratio of, this to this, and then they would let the fluids mix and then roll downhill, and the action of them going down the hill would mix the fluids as naturally just by them, turning over each other as they went down the hill. They would just go through the pipe, and then they could be, taken somewhere later on, rather than stirring or or agitation or pumping. It was done through gravity fed mixing, basically,
Yeah.
to keep these things less critical. So I don't know if
Yeah,
you knew that. I don't know if you knew that, any of you, but yeah.
No.
I read it somewhere, Matt, that they used gravity to mix in or to set off any sparks anywhere from pumps and everything else we didn't obviously explode.
It's interesting, isn't it? That yeah, Mark Sertaro actually says in capitals. So if you want to get through to us, by the way, capitals is good. He says mixing station. Yeah, because it looked like two pipes came in and maybe one went out. It was almost like as if things came in. Why would you have a building that was about pipes? It's because you must be mixing those pipes or switching them, like valving. Like, say, we'll have this pipe today and we'll have that pipe tomorrow. It's like it's going to be. And probably manually operated as well. You had a person who actually went up there and actually opened a valve and closed a valve. It might have been not like you have today.
Well, there was the other building we saw after that had the working phone in it, where we found that live ammunition. That's a
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
You were like,
That was-
no, don't pick it up.
that was in like their sort of Baghdad type compound they had, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. That was interesting.
I know that phone was live. I know if we picked that phone up, we'd have got a dial tone, but it would have been a military network. So if you knew the right numbers to ring, you'd come through as a military phone, which is interesting because if anybody wants to, make phone calls on the military network for some reason, there's a phone.
I thought you did pick it up.
No, I didn't pick it up because I thought
No, you
it
didn't.
might like show that the line has been activated somewhere in a room, So
Dial 666, Matt.
666.
a lot of those military numbers start with 9 as well. I think I noticed, but yeah, like 5-digit numbers like 95013 and stuff like that. It was like 5-digit numbers, but starting with 9. It's like a military type thing. Maybe that's why 999 is
okay.
what it is, because maybe it's a higher priority number. I don't know. 999.
Could be.
So, yeah, but that line was active, I'm sure, and I just didn't want to sort of like take the piss. The thing is, as well, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't use their water, I don't use their electricity if I can help it, and I'm not about to start ringing numbers on their line because they probably go like, oh, it's an illegal use of a military telephone network. I can imagine the kind of charges they would bring up on it. They would say, you're an unauthorized user of a military encrypted network, and there's like law, So I'm just like, nah, you'd leave that shit alone. You're like, look, we found some weapons, but I'm putting it back. Bye. Not touching that.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Moving away.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a bit of a dodgy one, really, isn't it? Like, touching anything to do with their stuff. There we go, like, oh, you're a terrorist, you're touching military equipment. So, yeah.
Yes, you can't be touching this. No, we're going to charge you. All right.
We're going to put you in a military prison.
Yeah, for a
Yes.
walk at this time.
Yeah. They'll be feeding me one baked bean an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, no
One baked bean an
potatoes
hour.
either.
Yeah.
So, okay then, right. Well, we'll sort of like come over to Mr. Gav then, because basically, Ray was there in the first half, and Brady was there, and we did the explore with those guys, and then we came back on a separate occasion because we could only do so much on the first day, and Gav was there and Johnny was there. I was suffering with a urine infection, and Johnny gave me quite serious painkillers, which I would not have been able to complete that day had I not had that help, because I was in some serious pain there and an awkwardness. And Gav, what did you think of day 2 then? Because I mean, well, what did you think of the original explore? Because you were there with the guys from the start. But I mean, do you want to like take us through anything that you did on the initial explore, or just tell us what you thought of the afterwards?
The initial explore was thing. I was willing to carry on. Everyone wanted to come off there, like you was miles on us, like you was way over there. It would have took us maybe an hour just to get you. If you would carried on walking, you would been getting further and further away. So me and John just thought, fuck it, then we may just go with the rest of them, like. But it was a long wait then, like, because it was like 2.5 hours after us. So I'm like, I'd want to be here easily. But like, it was a good day, you know. Like, it was just hard work and hanging about through, and there was a lot of people walking about underneath the bridge, and you know, I was gonna get caught up there, and I'm like, trying to walk up the hill. There's no, even though you're saying, like, we were talking and people were getting louder, you know, and it just gives you away, when you just sat there, like, and someone, in the end, if you wouldn't come when you did, I think if you was there half hour or so long, I think someone would have turned up to see why we were sat there, like.
Yeah.
It's not the best place to start, is it? Like,
well, if you're actually on that bridge, you're close to houses, really. You know, it is a dual carriageway, but there's houses on that dual carriageway, and
there's a farmer's field underneath and everything, wasn't it? That's the thing. You could have been in there at any point.
Yeah.
Like the second time was better. Like, obviously we spent a hell of a long time in it. Like, what we say was 5 hours.
5 hours, fair
and
play.
then it took us easy an hour or so to get back out then, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you're in there about 6 hours, pretty much.
Yeah. There'll be 6 hours at least.
Wow.
By the time we got back out.
That just shows you the initial size of the place, innit? If it takes you an hour just to walk out, never mind walk around it.
I think the only time we took a break was in that large building, the really large building, and you know, I sat down for 5 minutes, but that was about the only time we had a break. Really, we were walking all the time.
It was where you took painkillers when I let them kick in, and we were on our way again, weren't we?
Yeah. But they were cool buildings, weren't they? Those ones on stilts. They had walkways from one building to another on stilts.
Yeah, and that was a cool building. The first one, especially, because you could get around more in that one, couldn't we? The second one had brick walls, didn't it? Either side. We couldn't get as far as we wanted, but so they obviously done.
They were cool looking buildings. Very cool looking buildings. What was that one with the?
Was cool, like.
Yeah, what was the one with like the big holes cut in the roof? Did you say they had like tanks stood there or something like?
That was that big building, wasn't it? That had the walkways between it, and it had all those cutouts in the concrete.
Yeah,
you know, like,
there you go. Yeah.
I think they were for mixing that, were they? Would you say they'd have big barrels there? And
they might have been enclosed barrels, or they could have been mixing barrels. It said on the wall as well. It said area for women only or something, and I wondered whether there were a lot of women working in this place in the day, you know, and like women worked in lots of places and men worked in other places, and you know, it's kind of like they kept them segregated almost.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. They're women only areas like this. It was weird.
Yeah, they must have segregated them in percent. Jesus.
What
Got me then. What the hell was that?
What just happened?
Something come up on my phone and I had to quickly mute it. Sorry.
Ray unleashed James Brown.
Oh, I couldn't hear it because my thing filters out all the music and noises. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, Christ, mate. That got
So
me, that.
No, the audience wouldn't have heard anything as well because they get all the filtered. It's nicely filtered for the audience as well. But yeah, you guys heard something I didn't hear.
Oh, was you there? Oh, yeah.
You're right, Brady.
Yeah, that went straight through me. That did.
No idea what was going on. See, it works well, this noise cleaning system, doesn't it? I didn't hear a thing. Bomb could go off.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So,
Oh, God.
we went round a number. I'm just trying to think now. We went round a number of these buildings. We went to like rail sidings and all sorts of areas. A lot of the buildings, I mean, you could tell from the outside that a lot of them were kind of the same, even though you couldn't get in all of them. A lot of them were the same. You know, so there wasn't a lot of point. Wasn't a lot of point in going some of them because they, you know, you could tell like they're all carbon copies. But you know, big old place though. You know, still very big.
Massive.
Yeah, massive. I mean, I mean that drone footage you took was like what, over an hour, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
the question just come through from LJ47 Exploring.
If you got caught, as in like gone to court and with a judge, if you got caught, it's different spelling, but all right. If you got caught by the army and they just seen fit to press charges, what would happen? Just wondering. Well, again, I think because you're a civilian, even though you're on a military base, they have to hand you over to the police to be processed. So once they've kind of grabbed you, they have to give you to the normal police, and then they would have to work out what sort of charges they were going to do, and they would have to say, well, what have they done? You know, what have they actually done? Now, there might be laws that say you're not supposed to be on a military base. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. But if it's not an active military base, if it's just somewhere that is occasionally used for training, I think any normal judge would kind of say, come on, guys, this is not like, you know, it's not like a bloody, you know, they were like stealing nuclear weapons or something, was it? They were just like in a bunch of bloody old buildings. You know, anybody with a reasonable common sense head would say, come on, they're just exploring, you know. So they might trump up a load of charges for you, but I don't think it would come to very much. It would be trespass. And I think it depends on your intent. Whereas, you know, if it was somebody completely unknown who had a bit of a dodgy background, you know, maybe you know, terrorist connections or mob connections, they might be thinking you're looking for weapons or something. Whereas our background is we film and stick it on YouTube, and we tend to run away when we see any vehicles and shit. So, you know, we're not after a ruck, you know.
Would it be any difference if it was on like a proper active base? So if someone broke in, what would that be? Would that be any different?
Well, again, breaking in, jumping over a fence, probably not much would happen. If you, you know, broke in, yes, you'd get done for criminal damage, but it could be worse criminal damage because it's a military base than normal.
Yeah, I was going to say, MOD is different laws to trespass. It's not a civil matter.
I mean, they have got different laws. I don't know enough about it really because I've never really been done for anything like that. But I mean, they seem quite reasonable. They can get a bit sort of like in your face because it's the most excitement they've had in a long time. So they want to make the most of it, like, you know, and they want to like maximize that, like, excruciating pain they put you through, like, you know. We are gonna get you, and you know they could they could theoretically interrogate you, you know, depending on the circumstances. But you know they'd probably be told off for it afterwards. But I think that the general consensus is that if you're caught on a military base, you get handed over to the normal police as soon as possible, and then they
it makes trespassing a criminal offence, but it deters protesters from entering MOD, so they've used it against protesters. But
But I mean,
not
it depends how far they want to push it. Because I mean, if you're somebody who just wants to like document military history and that sort of stuff, you're not like a protester or somebody who's going to be causing damage and things like that. There's different levels. Because I mean, believe it or
depends who you
not,
get, though, innit?
yeah. I mean, all I will say to people is remember that there have been peace protesters who have broken into an RAF bases, gone up to aircraft and smashed them up. So that now they are millions, hundreds of millions of pounds worth of damage, yeah? And the judge has said, I'm going to let them off because those aircraft were going to be shipped to foreign dictatorships and going to be used to bomb innocent people, yeah, by those dictatorships. And that the peace protesters that did what they did were actually acting in the interests of those innocent people and against, fascist regimes and dictators, yeah?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and they got let off.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is there are rules and there are laws, and if you look at the laws, they look very oppressive, but it all depends on what your intentions were. Now, if a load of peace protesters can smash up a load of aircraft because they didn't want to see them being used for bad, for evil, yeah, and get away with it, I think my chances at taking a few photos of an old military base are pretty good,
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
So I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it.
Yeah. I mean, by the sounds of it, they sounded all right with it anyway, so.
I'll say, talking about sleep, I'm going to head off, Matt.
Okay. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you all later in chat.
See you later, mate.
Cheers, man.
Have a good weekend, mate.
Yeah, we'll do you too, Brady. See you later.
Come on. See you later.
About 9 o'clock.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers. Yeah, so I think it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I push the limits with active military bases. I mean, I'll fly a drone over it, and I'll photograph through the fence. But if it's very active, I won't jump that fence. I mean, there's always it's a remote risk, but there's always a remote risk that you could end up getting shot. If somebody who's not very well trained or a little bit twitchy or thinks they thinks that the thing that you got in your hand is a weapon, they could shoot you. So it's not to be trifled with. But I think overall, if once in the wash, it all comes out why you're there doing what you're doing. I mean, a lot of the time, they won't want to bother, pressing charges. So.
I just read, Matt, their bylaws is that if you are caught trespassing and you're not a threat, there's not much they can do. It's a £500 fine.
Mm.
Oh, they can fine you for it. All right.
Yeah, there's only certain sites, certain MOD sites that trespassing is a criminal offence on, but the high risk ones like Welford and Fairford.
Yeah.
And all them, they are protected because that's if anyone did come to try and bomb us, whether that the airfields they would take out first because that's where most of our stuff is stored now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and they've got nuclear weapons as well, which.
Yeah.
You don't want to be messing around anywhere like that because. I think some of the American bases they are allowed because when you step on to an American air base on British soil, it becomes American laws, and even though it's on British soil, it's American law, and they drive around in American cars on their side of the road, and they pay for fuel with no British tax. Because it's like a little piece of America. And you've got to remember that those places, they shoot first and they ask questions later. So if you're ever going to try and go and photograph things around places like that, you've got to remember that they might be a little bit trigger happy. They may be, and they should be well trained, but your chances, I think that the odds, even though they're low odds, the odds are still worse, I think, on an American airbase. It could go wrong,
what I just heard about Fairford and like Bryce Norton and all them is that any trespasser they will shoot, no questions answered, because they take it as terrorism. Even though you could just be there taking photographs, they get trained just to take them down.
Yeah,
Is it not
especially
supposed to be on
if you're
site?
near the nuclear areas, which are, remember, you've got perimeter fences, and in like so, I've been in Bryce Norton, but that's a normal area. You can go around. You got shops and things like that, but then you have a separate perimeter fence, which is obviously like now you're getting into serious territory. If you get caught inside double or triple perimeter fences, like I mean, they will not.
Yeah.
They won't mess
No,
around.
they won't tolerate it. No.
So yeah, I wouldn't be messing with that stuff really. It's not worth it. I mean, I'm interested in those places when they've shut down, when they've become deactivated. Yes, I'll quite happily jump a fence then. It's deactivated. Nobody's gonna shoot you in somewhere that's deactivated. But don't be thinking about trying to go into places that are active. It's just. I wouldn't like to think that you'd be the first urbexer to get shot to death for being in the wrong place. That wouldn't be nice. So.
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just have your wits about you, innit, really. Yeah. Use your noggin, pretty much.
Yeah, Mark Sertar says American sovereignty. Yes, exactly. Like you get diplomatic immunity. You get diplomats. They are carrying state secrets. They have diplomatic immunity. They can speed. They can break the law, and our laws don't apply to them. If they get caught by the police, they go diplomatic immunity card, and they go okay, on your way. Because it's this the services that they're doing are beyond the normal laws. So remember, there's some places you step in the UK where it's not the UK.
Yeah, fair enough.
You enter like a foreign embassy, like I don't know, a Middle Eastern embassy. Yeah, you're subject to their law in that embassy. Yeah, they could turn around, they could stone you, they could hold you down on the floor and throw stones at your head. The British government won't do anything.
No.
They could hang you.
Their land, isn't it?
Yeah, technically their land, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's technically their land, isn't it? Even though it's on British side. It's the same as us. Here's our embassy to road, and it's technically, even though it's their land, is our land, because that's what our government is like.
Yeah. Oh, so what are they saying then? Right. So that we went on to that part where we didn't have any trouble, really, Gav, did we when we were there that second time? It's nice and quiet.
We've seen a security car, or what we thought could have been a security car, didn't we? But other than that, we didn't hear nothing or see anyone. We was really, really quiet. But even when we walked on the way out, because we walked straight down and we didn't go back through everything, we just walked straight down the perimeter fence and we passed where they're supposedly active. But we've seen cars now there. We didn't see no people walking about or nothing. It was really strange. Like,
being a weekend, though, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, there probably was people there, but not many, more likely.
Yeah. It's one of those, because it's a training base. It's not really. It's not really like they're storing a lot of munitions there and things. I mean, if anything, it's probably like a ton of blank ammunition, but not live ammunition.
Yeah.
So
and they do live training there, but they probably bring that in every time they do live training, because obviously got to be counted for what they do, and then they've got to be counted again afterwards, and it'll be taken space more than like.
Yeah. Talking about counted, I was thinking, like, when we were at that railway bunker, when we were coming down out of the base, and we found one last little bunker, and I was walking on this stuff, and I said, "Look at this!" I was like walking on all these rounds. It was like, you can imagine how many rounds have been fired off from that position. Just absolutely shitloads. And it's like, scrap that. All that is scrap metal, and it's just left there. It's just all over that base. Must be hundreds of tons of scrap brass and scrap copper. In is it brass for bullets or is it copper? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I thought it was brass, but
I
it's been a
thought it
while
was
since
brass,
I've
yeah.
shot a rifle.
Yeah, and brass is still expensive, isn't it? It's like copper a bit. It's is it cheaper than copper or?
Not sure. But if say you wanted to pick those up and scrap it, that would be the point where you'd get in trouble because when leaving, even going to a range for a day, you have to declare that you're not leaving the range with any ammunition with you, even if they're empty shells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either soft brass or copper, depending on bullet.
People are saying brass.
Yeah, Mark
People say,
Sarteur again. He says, "Don't they have to count the blanks?" Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine counting all them. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I thought they had to count everything that come in, and then everything.
Matt,
You're heading.
I'm going to head off, mate. I'm going to head off, mate, because I'm getting quite tired, and it's going to be a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, you've been working he's been working all day today, and he's offered to come on for an hour. It's getting a bit on now. Yeah, so thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, and I'll see you about 9ish tomorrow then.
Indeed. Nanu.
All right, see you then.
All the best.
See you later, buddy.
Cheers.
Have a good one, mate. See you later, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you could just see you standing on a massive amount of metal, which is nobody's bothered to clean this stuff up. They just shoot and then walk away and forget about it. And it's like the whole base seems to be like that. It's like whatever they're using, whatever they're doing, they just like throw it, fire it, throw it, walk away, shoot guns, walk away. I mean, I don't know. Do they ever have cleanup operations? I mean, does somebody know what these training centers are like? Do they actually go around and clean up from time to time? Because
I think they are supposed to, because especially if they're using live ammunition, because they do leave public on it. They have rallies and everything else out on Caerwent. And people, certain times of year, people are allowed on base for certain events and that. So they got to clean most of it up, or do they fence it all off?
Yeah, Scrinson says somebody's arse will be on the line for the bag of blanks that we found. I mean, because they are dangerous, even though they're blanks, they're still dangerous because, in the wrong hands, you could end up blinding yourself or, even a blank, if it was close to your skin and you shot a blank close to your skin, it's still got an explosive force coming out of the front of it. Even though it makes a noise, it has got a bullet, it could still cause damage. So they're still treated as highly dangerous, even as a blank,
It's illegal to carry, isn't it?
So, I mean, obviously, as you saw, and I hope you understand, we didn't take anything that we found. I literally held it up and we went, oh, look, you could see that they were all on like a chain. I imagine that was a chain that went through a machine gun, was it? Like a feeder? Like Yeah. So they must be using so much of that ammunition, they just lose track of how many they fired because it's so quick fire. It's like da 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 da, and they're like, oh, how many did I come with? How many have I left with? I can understand how it would be easy to kind of forget or walk away and forget you've left some there, but. I wonder if somebody would get in trouble for it. Yeah, they probably just like. It could have been because it was in that weird little building that people probably don't go in because it wasn't part of the main building. It was just that little square hole and it was tucked in the side. And those bullets are 50 cal. Hang on. Those bullets are 50 cal. Hang on, isn't 50 cal this big? Is it like a huge shell?
I thought they were the long, they were the long, thick ones, aren't they? About
50,
that big.
50 cal is like that, isn't it? I don't know what these things would have been. If that's 50, that would be 25. I reckon it's like 25, 20, something like that. Half the distance of a 50 cal. They were. Yeah, and they're saying if you empty enough of the blank powder off, it could be used as an IED. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, they were 7.26.
7.62. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What does that mean? What is 7.62? Because that's not 50. So what would that be? 50? Is that 50 centimeters? Is that what it means? 50 centimeters, or what's a 50?
50 cal is 12.7 millimeters. So.
Oh, I got a ruler.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got my ruler here now. No. Not easily spottable. Might have it somewhere. Okay. Well, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
I've got a tape measure somewhere. Hang on.
50 cars, 12.7 millimeters.
Oh, he's going to get his ruler now. Where's my ruler? I got all junk on my desk. See if I can find a ruler quicker than he can find his ruler. Probably not. Probably not. I got this. I don't know how big this is. My dog's comb. Oh, hello. Oh, hang on.
I got a measuring tape.
I got a measuring tape. Beat him.
Same thing.
Hang on, it's 12.
Oh,
That long. So 50 cal is
Yeah.
that long.
yeah.
Oh, look, he's got his measuring tape now. I'm so sorry. Right. Oh, have you managed to find a way to measure things? Oh my God, you managed to get a measuring tape. Oh, I'm so glad. Because I was getting really, I was wondering how long it was. Because I like,
Hey.
Yeah. That comes with a good filing system of tools.
I measure it all the time, guys. So yeah.
I measured mine earlier. Look, it was exactly that long. That's the caliber that
mine
I'm
was like
firing.
that.
Yeah.
There we go. And it retracts as well. Look.
Yeah.
Put it away safe.
It's like one of those hoses they sell in the petrol stations at the moment. What do they call it? Like expanding hoses, and they say like becomes like 1 feet, expands to 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Someone says, "What are we measuring?" Well, wouldn't you like to know, my friend?
Yeah. We're packing heat. That's all I can say.
Packing measuring tape. There we go.
Yeah. We're packing tape. That's all I can say.
And it retracts.
We're packing tape. Yeah.
I've got gorilla tape. Does that do?
Yeah. Oh, gorillas ain't very well hung. No.
Oh, wow. Anyway, and on that note.
Yeah. Yeah. 9mm. Yeah.
9mm.
Yeah, it's like a centimetre, isn't it? Like a little tiny shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's 12. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's not bad.
I did fire a rifle that had live things in it once, but that was at a Hell's Angels gig, and you could pay to fire a machine gun there, but I didn't have enough money. So, but it was like, it's just crazy because it's like, how the hell are they letting us fire live ammunition? You know, they're like, here we are. Here's a rifle, sir. Go on, you can fire it. It's like, bang. It's like, but I don't have a firearms license. But you're under the tutelage of the guy that does have the license, you know. But I still thought it was pretty weird, you know, at a Hell's Angels gig to be able to go and fire a machine gun. Like, it's like, yeah, right, yeah, great. Well,
What's that? Rumor has it you can fire a 9mm round into a wet military blanket hung up and it wouldn't penetrate it. Just a rumor. Apparently, Neil just said. Don't know, huh?
Would it penetrate it if it was dry? Yeah. Well, I'm going to think about this now whilst I'm going to sort myself out. So I'll be back in a second, guys, because my brain stops thinking when I'm suffering from desperation syndrome. So yeah, we'll deal with that.
It's going to go
then,
measure up at the same time, guys.
Once I've recharged my brain and discharged my other regions, then we'll be okay. So I'll see you in a sec.
Yeah. All right. He's just going to go measure it, guys. What? About there?
Smaller than that,
isn't it? He's probably listening, going, "Oh God, what are they talking about now?"
Exactly.
Hello, everyone in the chat. By the way, I know it's been like 2 hours, but hello, welcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, what did the have you talked about what the police said?
No, not yet.
All right, I'll wait till Matt comes back then.
Yeah, I suppose we're getting on to it, you know what Matt's like.
They're cool headphones, then. Beats. He's got posh headphones on, guys. I've just got the normal, my running headphones, which cheap and cheerful. $6.99 they were, right?
All work the same, but
but I mean, I do have I have Sony ones somewhere, which I use for like editing and stuff like that. They're noise cancellation ones, but they just don't work well on this computer.
I don't usually put mine on, but then my mic is playing up on my computer again or somewhere. My head in looking like a pages or like sometimes I can get it to work and other things I can't like.
So how are you feeling, bud? You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm better, but
good. Oh, he's back.
Do you know what caused it, or are you?
No, I don't know.
One of those randoms. No. Yeah. So I just think back to the last time when I actually know what probably caused me to be ill was like a McDonald's milkshake when it tasted wrong, and I spoke to the manager and I said, "This just tastes all wrong." He was, "It's perfectly fine," and it tasted fizzy, and I was like, "It's not right. It's not right." And I came home and I just had the shits. Oh dear.
Oof.
No.
Dang.
I was the same with McDonald's. They always pass it over. There's nothing wrong with anything.
Did you say your car? Did you say your car? They pass it over.
No. If you complain in McDonald's, they just pass it over. There's nothing wrong. Like.
Yeah, no, they.
Oh yeah, so it's not our fault. No. Yeah. Well, I've eaten from there. And it's
probably like itchy buttocks. So like, I'll just use a bun to scratch it with. Like, I'm not going to use my hands. I'll use one of these buns. Exactly. Give it to the customer. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Well, I thought she'd been up because she knew that I had a treat with me. She hadn't come up.
Oh, Angel!
She can't hear you. She isn't here.
Ah.
Well, you coming for a treat then?
So yeah, you had a phone call off the military police then, Gav.
Oh yeah, we forgot. Oh Christ, yeah, we better get there soon. No, we're keeping. Oh, sorry, baby. We're keeping everyone waiting here for the magic part of the story. Yeah, the finale. the finale. The fucking finale. The fucking finale, but.
The vinegar stroke.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go, bud. It's fucking happening now. It's fucking coming on.
Hold on. Here we go.
Oi, you looking at my missus' butt? Did you see that? He sent me to that boys' village, Wales, and I was like, I was just like, oh, I'm in Wales. What do you do when you're in Wales? I was like, are you looking at my missus' butt?
Sorry. I saw that. Yeah, I was like,
sorry. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, go on, Gav. After you, mate.
Want some of my beer, butt? Do you want some beer? Have some of this beer. Come on.
Beer butt.
She doesn't understand because I don't do this very often. Here we are. Look, have some beer. Have some beer, butt. Do you want some? No, she's like, I retract.
No.
No.
It's like, no.
My old dog would have been like, yeah. But this one doesn't understand it. Here we are. Look, want some beer? Want some beer? She's like, no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't dare. She's like, I wouldn't dare. Even if I'm not looking. No. Just beer? No. No. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
They used to feed beer to my dog in a pub. They would like put beer down in a thing and I'd get my dog pissed. It's not good, but this is Wales, so yeah.
Yeah. Just sent you a I found a map of that place. It's got literally everything on it. I've just sent you to it, Gav, and I've sent you it that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That
Are you
actual
talking
map
about
it shows.
Caerwent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brady.
I've just sent.
Wow.
Have I? Yes, there you go.
Wow. Where the hell did you find that then? I haven't seen that before.
No, not me.
Yeah, Steve Ellis, if you're watching, mate, you sent it to me, so thank you very much, mate.
Bloody hell.
So I just thought I'd pass it on. Yeah, it's got a list of like everything on it.
It's colour
Literally
coded.
everything.
You're looking around now to see if I got anything. I offered you beer, you didn't want it. I've got nothing. That's interesting. I'll have a look at that now. Yeah. They when the Americans went in there, I said that's weird because where's the bomb dumps where they had like loads? That doesn't appear to be on this.
No.
Oh, do you know what? I think I'm looking at this upside down. Hang on. Maybe it is on there. Doesn't look as big as the bomb dumps where you have like there's a thin line and then it splits out to two lines of just bomb dumps and it's just like and it's I can't see that from this looking at this.
No, I can't see him out there.
No, I don't know whether it's like just they've obscured it for some reason. Maybe I don't know.
They might have.
That's the place I got it off. I've just sent you the place I got it from. So
okay. Well, interesting. Perhaps I'll have to include that map with the thing. I mean, yeah. Where were we going? What we were saying about?
we were going on to the Gav getting a phone call from the military police.
Yeah. After we left, this is like we left, and then how long later was it till you got contacted? Well, after you did your video, wasn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, it was last week, Saturday. I think the military police phoned me. Saturday.
They didn't know we were there for all that time until you put your video out.
Yeah. They said that they'd seen the video on YouTube, and they just gave me a gypsy's warning not to go back there.
Now, this gypsy's warning, is that your phraseology? I mean, because I've not heard that before. Is that what he said?
I've heard that before.
Is that what they said?
That's what he said. The gypsy's warning. He was partly just telling me not to go back there because I trespassed. He's telling me that I cannot go back to this place. So obviously, if I went back now, it would be stupid, because I would get in trouble if I got caught, obviously.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But that's what he said. He said he's not taking it no further. He didn't say I had to take the videos down or anything. He did ask me to put up a video warning people not to go there, so I've done that. And that was basically it. And then day before yesterday, the police turned up my door. Normal police.
You've got a moderator in the background there, I can hear.
Yeah, and it
Hey,
says,
Shah.
Hello.
Lady said Mark said
Hello.
How you doing, Shah?
But like the police come and I wasn't here. I pulled up and he was still in the street, and
So had they spoken to your wife at the time?
They spoke into her first, yeah.
And they'd got back in their cars.
She said it was, they got back in a riot van. They got up in a riot van.
What?
Oh wow!
And I pulled into the street.
You are a big boy, see, Gav. That's what it is. They probably thought that the car, they wouldn't be able to get you in the car. It's like the Incredible Hulk, isn't it?
Wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he said, "You obviously know what I'm here for." I said, "Yeah." He said, "It's been read."
You know what you've done wrong, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you know.
Yes.
Look into my eyes.
Well, he literally said to me, "This is a waste of his time." But it's because we've been red flagged by military police. They had to come out to speak to me.
Jesus Christ! So they're wasting more time.
He said, "Oh, RAF Caerwent." I said, "Yeah." He said, "They're not taking it no further. We ain't taking it no further." That's the end of it. See you later.
Yeah, bye.
Tick that box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, really, because the military police didn't want to take it any further. They can't take it no further. So
Yeah.
that was basically it. And I haven't heard nothing since. So
Well, I don't think we, because our hearts are not in the wrong place. We're not going there to nick stuff. We're not going there to damage stuff, and we're not there, like when we saw that ammunition. I'm sure they're watching all our videos. Within half an hour of somebody seeing that video, there would have been a car up there, and that would have been retrieved. So there ain't no point you going there looking for that ammunition now, folks. It's not there.
no.
No.
They,
Sorry.
They've probably secured the base more as well now.
Probably.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've probably pretty much secured it.
They've probably got security going round and round and round now at the moment.
Now they've
decided that they will slow it back down or whatever after a while. They always do, don't they? It's just because it's up in the air at the moment, they will.
I think they probably had it quite good there for a while, because I've not seen anyone really showing any interest in that place for donkey's years, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I didn't really have a great justification to do it because it's like it would just be me exploring, and it's like a lot of things. There's loads of things I'd like to do, but if you're just doing them for yourself, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of point. It's like, I could do it, but nobody believe me. It's like, well, the whole thing with YouTube is like when I do it, I film it and I show people, and everybody goes, "Oh, look, he's done it. I can do it." And that's when it becomes a problem, isn't it? Everyone wants to follow what you've done or do it.
And that's why they asked me to put that video out to try and deter people from going there, because obviously it is trespassing. Obviously, if someone could be dull enough to go out when they are live training.
Yeah,
which you shouldn't be. Like, of course, you should use the bullets now going off and everything else. But you know what some people are like.
Yeah, and I mean, they're to a degree they're supposed to be more looking for intruders when they're doing stuff. They would stop operations if you got into a place like that. Theoretically, they should spot you and stop the firing. They would call it off, whilst you're in there. But it's not the point, is it? It's like you shouldn't really be there when it's active rather than like what we were doing when it wasn't active very much, but it's a grey area. It's like the Salisbury Plain, like the red flags are flying tonight. I shouldn't really go on there, if I did there would be people who would like spot me and stop me going too close to where they're live firing, and but you shouldn't really be doing it when it's active, so
No, but as all we planes, normally when the red flags up, they got guards there on all entrances, and they stopping and going in there anyway.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
ways to get in, but the main entrance is where people go in. They got this guarded in it to make sure you are supposed to be going there.
Funny thing with
and they were
Salisbury.
pretty,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
they were pretty much on it when that video I put on. I mean, they spotted us straight away, and we were like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." I mean, because it was just—I think they were just security. I think they were, Gav, weren't they?
I think it was because of the
Yeah.
cars. It was literally because of the cars. If we hadn't parked the cars close to that Fibua place, they wouldn't have known we were there. Because we met some lads who were already there. But they
were
parked their
in it.
cars. They parked their cars like about a mile away. You know, so they had a long walk. You know, out. But they'd not had any attention. It was only the fact that we parked our car in there. It's very obvious. If you make it obvious, you make it easy for security. If you park close to a place, and what we consider close and what they consider close is like close for them is like a mile. You know, if you're going to park close to a base, they're going to know you're there because nobody should really be there. You know, you think it's a long way. It's not for security because they know. You know, nobody's going to be there. Spot the car.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
the matter? What's the matter? She's like wanting more food now. I ain't got nothing. Got nothing. So yeah, you know, I've number one thing I've tripped myself up with, even down at Fareham where we went to that court. It's like we parked fairly close, even though I wasn't parked right in front of the building. It was fairly close, you know, and they close enough, you know. It's you got to park a long way away, and you know it's boring, but you have to do the walk. It's the walk of shame. You have to do that walk, and that walk saves so much aggro in the long run. But we're all lazy. We're all friggin' lazy.
Oh, we all do it, don't we? We all just want to park right outside these places, don't we? When retrospectively we should park half a mile away.
Yeah, just so you don't.
That's your safe distance as well, then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if your car's 100 yards down the road, by the time you get the car, it's surrounded your car, haven't they? If it's a mile away, and you know your way through the back streets and everything else,
you can get away.
Like the car too,
Yeah.
See
you later. It's like that time, Gav, at that Memorial Hospital. We made the same mistake and parked right outside the place. Next minute, police turned up. You went one way, me and Taffy went the other, and me and Taffy got caught.
We were still in the bush when you got caught.
Yeah, because I went.
They were talking to you. We dived round the other way.
Yeah, he went that way. They got off, fair play, and it was just me and Taffy got caught. We were like, oh god, here we go. But obviously made the mistake of parking outside the freaking place. So yeah, it happens. But I think they were all right with us that day anyway, so it was all good. But
well, the thing is as well, it kind of, you know, I'm always sort of thinking, well, I'm not actually going to do anything wrong, so what can they do, you know, apart from make my life awkward, you know? And it's like, so I don't feel so bad. But then there's always if you park a long way away, you can get away, then you ain't going to have to speak to them. Then they couldn't get funny and put you in the cells for the night, even though you haven't done nothing wrong, you know, which is like, because they can do that. And as we have shown, it happens. It does happen. So, you know, even though you've done nothing wrong, they go, we're not interested, get in the back of the van. It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we all know the risks of it, don't we? We all know.
Yeah.
Well,
most of the time,
Jackie's putting capitals Brady ? So I don't know what that means. Brady.
Oh, she sent me a message. What she said. Can you send her the link? There you go.
What, to that video, is it, where you got caught?
I don't know. She just said, can you send me the link to ask you? So I'll pass the message on, Jack. There you go. Sorry, it's been, Everyone's texting me while
they're
I'm
saying
on here.
Jordan has the right idea with the mask. He does. But the thing is, Jordan's only wearing that mask for one reason. It's because he doesn't like his face being shown on video, and it's not because he cannot show his face on video, he chooses to be a little bit more discreet. He doesn't want his face being seen. But ultimately, I think he has to be careful, because appearing like a guy running around with a mask on it triggers people with, you know, who are on a hairpin. You know, they could be like, "Oh, is he a terrorist? What's going on? Why is he wearing a mask?"
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Could be triggered or something. Oh, I've just seen someone in a mask. Oh shit!
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah. Oh, Scrinson saying, "What's the gold disc?" The gold disc is a record called "I Wanna Wake Up With You." I think it's something like that. Look it up. I found it in the house. It was in the attic up there. Up in the attic, up there.
Up in attic.
Up in attic. When I went in the attic, right, because I had rats in the house when I first came here, and I could hear them hear them scratching around. So I went up the attic to put loads of like poison down, because it's the only way you can deal with some of this shit, unfortunately. And I found a gold record. So I brought it down. I was like, "Oh, who's this for?" You know, it was the guy that was, he was like a manager, or, you know, somebody at the record company, and he got awarded a gold disc because he was the manager that sold loads of these records for the artist. He wasn't the artist, but, you know, he did well, so he got a gold disc. The artist gets a gold disc. The person who promotes it gets a gold disc. It's like everyone in that like chain of selling lots of the records gets a gold disc. So he was the like promoter or something at the record company, so it's his gold disc. But he obviously didn't give a shit about it, or maybe he hated working at the record company because he just left it behind. He just left it up in the attic, and I found it and I was like, "Woo, a gold disc!" So I put stickers on it saying like gold disc for like me, and I put my name on it instead. You know, like I put stickers on it, like saying it was for me. It was like, so that's the gold disc. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's somebody's award that they didn't want. They couldn't give a shit about. Maybe a bad part of their life that they wanted to like forget about. You know, like, I'm giving that away. I'm leaving that behind.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Not interested.
They just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Aye. You know.
His vest and balaclava could gain some unwanted attention from anyone passing by. Well, it is, but also, I suppose you could get attention from it, but they can't identify you. They could just say, "Oh, it's a guy wearing this type of balaclava, this type of this type of that." But it's like, yeah. I just hope it doesn't come to anything dodgy. I mean, I've warned him. I said, like, you know, we all run, but like, listen to the severity of what they're saying, because, you know, there's certain type of warning messages that, you know, could be like, if you don't listen, I will shoot. You know, then maybe you'd be better off just stopping, because, you know, yeah. But ultimately, the reason he wears it is because if I'm filming, he can be on film then, showing some emotion, you know, like filming, facing the camera, but without being spotted. And I don't really see why they care, but it's to do with Benno more than anything else. It's Benno really doesn't like his face being seen, which is a Benno thing. But because Benno does it, Jordan is his mate, and Jordan has just kind of gone along with it, like, oh, well, if he's not going to be seen, I won't be seen. It's nothing more than that, really. But it makes it bloody awkward to film these people, because, like, a lot of the time, you know, you have to blur them out, and then people go like, "Why are you blurring them out?" And it's a pain in the ass blurring them out. So he offered to wear the balaclava. Probably if I wasn't around filming, he wouldn't wear the balaclava. It's not a thing he does when he goes out on explores for himself. It's a thing that he does when he's with me, because I'm filming. So
yeah, the thing
That's
is,
fair enough.
with his camera, he can stay behind it, can't he?
Yeah, Benno
There's
doesn't
not
put a
much
balaclava on, but Benno just moans that he's on film and he didn't want to be on film. So, so Jordan found a solution, which was, well, I will balaclava up so you don't have to worry about it. And Benno was like, I don't like being on film, and it's like, oh well, just walk over there then, Mr. Benno. Sorry, Benno. He's probably watching now because he does watch these videos. Yeah. But you could wear a balaclava and then the two of you could be shot and then we'd be done with both of you. No, I'm lying. No. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, just try and stay behind the camera if you don't want to be seen, bud, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah. But it's not just that. He doesn't want to be seen, but he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the sound of his own voice as well. So we've said to him, well, that's easy to deal with because just be in character with your voice that you put on your channel. You know, so I said, well, all right. I mean, I can cut you off, but then you have blank bits where I'm going, so what's this then? You go, oh, right. So what's that then? Oh, that's interesting. So what's over there? And it's just like blank, 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 blank all the time. So it's like, well, he doesn't want to be on film. He doesn't want to be on audio. So I said to him, well, just be in character. So be the character that you like to be when you're on your channel. So if I ask you a question like, what's that over there? Sorry. Just go like, you know, well, it's this, you know, it's like a bit like Jordan. It's like, you know, answer in that character that I wouldn't have to edit it. But yeah, it doesn't come out that way because he just answers you normally and then he goes, oh, I don't want to be heard. So I have to edit it out. And then it's like this very segmented video, which, you know, I don't like doing cuts. I don't like having to cut to shot. I like to kind of carry it through, and then it's just one of those. I could cut, but yeah, I just think I like to go with this like realistic flow. That's the way I like to do it. It's not how it's not necessarily how I need to do it. It's what I've asked people: do they like me to like edit or not? And they said not. I've been through this with people. I've like put it out to vote and said, do you want me to like shorten these videos down and make them the highlights, or do you like me to just go straight through and not edit? And they said no edits. So for the old school, there'd be me with for the longest amount of time who like the videos the way I do them. I try where possible not to edit them. You know.
No, it's fair enough.
You know, so
yeah, it's fair enough, mate.
Yeah,
I don't do loads of editing with mine, Matt. I don't cut loads out of mine if I can help it. I just don't see the point because you just don't get do a story.
Yeah, I do.
You're walking around for 10 minutes and nothing, you haven't seen nothing or talked about anything. Yeah, I'll cut that bit out then, but other than that, normally I just turn my camera off like it's easier.
Yeah, if there's any like swearing or anything like that, I cut that out, but that's about it.
No, I don't even cut that out, I don't. I just leave it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most of the time there's quite a lot, so I'm just sat there going, oh well, just leave it in.
I do. I just leave it in. You just be beep, 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 all the way through your video. Like that.
Yeah, like mine video, mate, there was just a swear word every 2 seconds, especially getting in there.
Well, I cut out the swear words because a lot of the time it's me being pissy, you know, going like, oh, what that is going on here? Because look at this thing. Oh, I've just banged myself. I've just hurt myself. And I'm just moaning. And yeah, I cut out the most extreme bits. Because then when, you know, because I suppose it didn't used to matter. Like 6 months ago, it didn't matter. But now they say to you, they come up with this thing when you're uploading a video, they say how much swearing is in your video, and they've got like limits. So like, is it like within the first 30 seconds you say F a lot, and it's like no, after like 30 seconds moderate, and then it's like, and they've got limit, and it's like how much violence is in your video, and you've got to, you know, how much, you know, abuse, how much this, how much that, and they, you know, it's just like, they don't want anything. So if it's gonna, I can imply it or I can joke about it. But if you're gonna have the swear words in, I'm just thinking they're just gonna limit my videos, you know. So I try to limit it, you know, just so they don't go after me, because they're after me anyway. So I don't want to make it easy for them to just kick me off because of swearing and shit. It's like you could swear all day long, probably, Gav, but if I swear twice, probably like, you're off YouTube. You know, it's like, so it's kind of different, you know, because I just get followed around wherever I go. I get shit. So I tried to take the swear words out just to try and say, well, look, you know, I didn't swear, but
Yep.
Well, it's 11:30. I did say I was gonna go on till 11, so we're half an hour over now. Yeah. Merlin says bok bok brr. Yeah. Which is birds swear all the time. I tell people this. It's like people think it's all nice. You know, you heard like a bird going, they're going fuck bollock fuck you die fuck you, right? That's what it translates to. It's not all nice singy songy. It's all strutting their stuff like I kill you fuck you. They're not, you know. I don't. You know, when I hear bird songs, I don't hear nicey stuff. They're pretty hardcore aggressive, you know, but they just don't have knives and weapons. Otherwise, it would just be, you know, bodies in the streets. But
I think there would be.
Yeah. So, right. Well, I think we kind of covered it, but Gav's point is very valid. They don't want you there. They don't want to have people on their base, and even though you see now a video taking the piss, you've got to remember that it was because nobody knew we were there. Now we push their buttons a bit. There's probably going to be a very different reaction. So, up to you. I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying, you know your days and know your times, and but be careful. I'm not responsible for your actions, and don't say I sent you, even though you watched the video. But hopefully, and all I will say is, for anybody who wants to go, right, and for those that are listening from the military, if you want us to fully complete all the other places we haven't seen, then hopefully there won't be another reason for people to want to go there, because hopefully we'll have done a good enough job for people to not want to go there anymore, you know? Because I try to be fairly thorough, but there are still a few places left we could go. And if you want us to kind of cover it all, so it's like, well, watch Matt's video, you don't need to be here, then, give us a call. Otherwise, hopefully it doesn't get too antsy for them, with people trying to get in there now, but we'll see.
Man.
It is a live base, so on your own head be it.
Warned.
Yeah.
You've been warned. You have been warned.
So, anything anybody else wants to follow up on, or should we all hit the hay?
Yeah, I think you covered pretty much everything there, mate.
I ain't gonna hit the hay. I gotta be up at 6 o'clock.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm gonna be getting up about 6, drop my dog off with my mate for about 7, get on the road for half 8, 9, jump in a car, or they jump in mine at 9, go to, you'd love to know that, wouldn't you? Yeah. And then,
I like that.
and then some mayhem and madness, and then hopefully come home at a reasonable hour to collect my dog, and then transfer all the footage off my SD cards, then go to bed.
Nice.
Which
That's
is
like,
generally how it goes.
sounds like a good day. Sounds
Yeah.
like a good day.
Another day I'm lying, you know.
What are you doing, Gav?
Yeah.
Working. Oh, you must love it though.
No. Pays the bills, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your boys' village place. That was interesting. I'm quite surprised actually. I didn't know about that place, even though when I lived there in Barry, I didn't know about that place.
I don't think a lot of people do know about it, man. Like, a lot of people probably just go past it. There's not much of it left now, is there?
I was quite surprised because there was a family, like a mother, a father, and a kid were there. I was walking along and I went, "Oh, look, it's people." I didn't point at the camera at them because I didn't want to like freak them out. But I was like, "Oh, there's people." There's like three people there, and they'd parked in front of my car and just gone in.
All right.
And had a look. So it's
Fair enough.
funny. It's funny. For a place I didn't even know existed. You got people turning up to have a look. Yeah, middle of nowhere.
You do get people there, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's not very often you drive down that way, is it?
No.
Down them country lanes, like.
I mean, you could drive past it and not know it was there. Even though you saw like Harris fence, you probably wouldn't realise it was anything there anyway.
No.
You just drive past it, just think, oh, it's a field. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you did tell me, is it worth going to have a look? I mean, I will give away a location if people want to explore. Did you say there was something to do with the old Aberthorpe Power Station was still there, like on the beach or somewhere down there?
On the beach, there's the old line works, still on the beach. There's not much of it left, man. It's just a shell.
Right.
I've done it. It was all right. I think I put the video up, sure.
Is it? Okay.
Done it. And it's really about a 15-minute video. There's not much left of it, Matt. You've got to go down got to park on the top or walk down a private driveway. The old man that lives there, he's a bit of a tit if he just see you. Or you're not supposed to be down there as a private driveway. But then when you get to the wall where there's public walk paths, so you can't.
Yeah, I've been to one like that.
The
Yeah.
driveway, like.
Yeah.
It don't make sense.
I like that that thing that's out in the water. I've seen that, over the years. That in Aberthorpe Power Station, it's got its water is piped out into this thing. Yeah, out in the sea. It's like, and it looks like on probably a lowest tide of the year, you could probably walk out to it.
Well, you probably could. It's the same as the island in Tenby, innit? The St. Catherine's Port in Tenby. With low tide, you can walk out to that, can't you? There's no other way to it unless you've got a boat. Right?
You've been to that brickworks in Anglesey, Porthwen?
No.
That's an interesting site. You ever get a chance to go there, like? Still all intact as well.
I think I sent it to Taffy earlier on. I don't know if I sent it to you. Did it? An old military place near Anglesey. Did I send that to you?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me just see if I've got it from him.
You forwarded me one. I don't know what that was.
Is this the place? Hang on. Somebody sent it to me, and I sent it. Oh, that's that Manchester place. That was the first one. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Maybe I haven't sent it to you. Okay. Hang on. I'll look it up in a minute. Somebody sent me something, and I tell you what I sent it as a voice message to Taffy. I can't remember which voice message it is. There's several of them here now. I just said, there's a place that is near Anglesey. If you want to go and have a look at it. So I'll work it out and I'll send it to you again.
Yeah, cool, man.
somebody sent it to me, but it's too far. It's like it's one of those, isn't it? If it's down the road for you, it's worth going to have a look. But for me, it's a 5-hour drive. It's not down the road. So
Yeah, I say Anglesey is about an hour and a half from me.
That's not too bad.
No, I can do it an hour.
That's like me going to Bristol from here, which is very acceptable. But 5 hours, you get there, you want to just turn around and come straight back, then you after 5 hours of bollocks.
Exactly. You're just like, I've driven all this way. I've got to go back now.
Yeah.
Especially if there's only one place in it. It's a long old time.
If you're going to go that far, you need to have at least a couple of good ones to go to and make it worth your while at the end of the day, innit? Travelling all that way, I think, personally.
Tim the Pigeon Master said, hope Mindset's on tonight. I don't know, actually. He might be. He does his Friday night howl, but I don't know what time that's on. It's probably middle of the night for me. Tim, I was very close to giving you a call to come around and say hello, and say hello to Merlin the pigeon, the annihilator, the bloody annihilator pigeon. That we saved her life so she can kill others' lives. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So that pigeon. So but they know not what they do. Yes.
He's on at 4 a.m. apparently. 4 a.m.
Oh,
yeah, I'll be in bed.
That sounds a bit hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna possibly give you a ring. Maybe next time I'm in Wales, I'll give you a shout. Last time I was there, I was doing extra drone footage for the Caerwent, So But Merlin's serving life now. life without parole. Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Any baby she has now will be segregated from her, So yeah. But there we go, folks. Right. Well,
Cool.
There's RAF Caerwent. It is a thing. You can go and see it if you're hardcore. If you don't mind climbing over some rather large palisade fences. Give it a go. But don't blame us if it ends in a night in a jail cell. And don't be picking up any old blanks you find, because you will get in trouble for it. So
just be careful, innit?
Well, anything to finish with, guys, or shall we just say
what he said.
Etne on the one. Yeah.
And on that note, it's time to end.
Well, by the way, why didn't Johnny come on? Why didn't he come on?
Too late for him, but
too late.
What time does he go to bed? Bless him.
Oh, he's in bed by 10 o'clock, man.
Oh, he's in bed by 10.
So literally, he couldn't even have a special occasion like to come in.
No. Unless we're out exploring, but we're on a late one. He's in bed by 10 o'clock.
In bed by 10? Oh my God. Yeah, but is he up like at 5 a.m. in the morning?
No, he's up between 5 and 6 every morning.
Ah, that's why then. Yeah, right. Makes sense then. He has a different perspective on life.
Yeah, he's just lazy now because he's retired. So.
Well, good to see you, and hello to Johnny, even though he couldn't be here. We'll do an earlier live stream for you next time, Johnny. So we'll come on about 5 in the evening if we want to get a Johnny on. Yeah. You want to get a Johnny on, and you don't want to get any birds pregnant, it's 5 in the evening. Yeah.
5 in the evening. Yeah. There's some good advice,
That's
guys.
So there we are. On that note, on that bombshell.
On that bombshell, it's time to end.
Okay, well, it's been good. Thanks, guys. It's been good fun.
See you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll catch you again soon, and don't forget, check out Exploring with Gav and Exploring with Brady. And I'm gonna go and have a look at your cooking video now. Send me the link. I'm gonna watch it.
I shouldn't do it. Yeah. There's 2 actually now. I'll put it back up.
You put it back up now. I'm gonna watch your cooking video whilst I go to sleep. If it keeps me awake, I'm gonna complain. So yeah, it better be a nice sedate cooking video, right?
Yeah.
No shocks.
If you call that, there's no sausage involved, so you're all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have a look at it, and we'll give you our Egon Ronay sort of marking later on.
Okay, buddy. No worries.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to let the doggy out. That's why I get my boots on.
No.
Let the doggy out, and yeah, put the 4 cans in the bin. Recycling, of course. Yeah.
Recycling.
Yeah.
Recycle. Even though it goes all to the one place, but anyway.
Yeah. Ian says night butt. Yeah, indeed.
Night butt.
Night butt. How are you doing, butt?
How you doing, butt?
Yeah. Melissa Jones Paranormal says night, Matt, Brady, Gav. Yes, good night.
Good night, Melissa.
So thank you for everybody tuning in, and we'll catch you again next time. Hope you enjoyed the Caerwent experience. We know we did. And we'll see you soon. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.